Welcome to Seven Institute. We are really glad to have you all here. And today we are going to talk a lot about career counseling. You'll get to know a lot about Seven Institute as well. And do we have a lot of and feel free to ask question as well. Okay, pay attention. Feel free to ask question. And today we have a lineup speakers who are holding a prominent position in different kinds of companies as well. And we also have Sir Tinkle. His name is Tinkle Naomi Kabam, who is the co-founder and the CEO of the Seven Institute. So he have been doing a lot of international projects before this, and he also have been um, responsible of thousands and thousands of people regarding their learning and development in different kinds of sectors. Okay, so guys, once again, really happy to have you all here. I guess I mean I promise that you will at least learn something from this, and yep, have a good time ahead. Thank you all.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Okay, first of all, relax yourselves. Do not get nervous and all that. If you have questions, ask because we only have 2 days with you. 2 days, I'm not talking about 48 hours. We only have few hours, a couple of hours, and we won't be able to share everything that we might want to share with you guys because it's a short period of time. So you might want to make the most out of it, and I will appreciate if you guys are keeping your videos on as well because I really don't like talking to the walls personally. So guys, please try to stick to English as a medium of communication, but those people who are not very comfortable with framing a question that's in English, you can do it in your own dialects, but because this is going to be a multilingual environment, we are going to stick to English when it comes to our responses and answers and everything. Okay, we have people from, I'm not sure if she's entered, but there's somebody from Delhi, and we'll have our Myanmar partner as well. I'm not sure, Henry, if Philip has already entered. Let me know once he enters.
Okay, sure. I will let you know.
Okay, guys, first of all, a very quick note on Seven Institute, right? And I wouldn't want to go through too many things in details regarding Seven Institute, but how it all formed or started was with this initiative called RAD. It stands for Reform, Attain, Discover. And there's a big reason why it is Reform, Attain, and Discover. You see, every individual in any line of profession you want to pursue, you have to go through these 3 stages. You first have to reform yourselves in terms of rediscover your strengths, your weaknesses, identify your personality trait, all these sort of things. This is where you undergo the reformation stage, right? So that you can start afresh. Attain stage is when you start acquiring and attaining key skill sets which make you employable, right? Which make you stand out from the rest of the competitors. Whether you're a job seeker, whether you're going to be an entrepreneur, whether you want to work in Manipur, elsewhere in India, or even overseas. All right. So discovery is a stage when you're ready. When you're ready, you have already reformed, you have already acquired the key skill sets, and now you're ready to discover the opportunities. And this is the essence of RAD Institute, under which Seven Institute is formed. All right. So what I'm going to do, because there are 2 days here, all right, we will quickly go through some of the important stuff about our organization. But what I quickly want to do is that I also want to touch upon few skill sets which are absolutely important. Okay, I'm going to touch upon only maybe one or two today, and tomorrow we'll continue. But before that, okay, so our institute, RAD Institute or Seven Institute, our courses are broadly classified into 3 categories. The number one is our RAD Communication and Personality Development Unit. And this is the most important out of all the courses. This is the most important because it's important whether you want to become a doctor, engineer, architect, teacher, social activist, social entrepreneur, businessman, whatever you want to become, this is the basic foundation. And this is where majority of us lack. And when I say key soft skills, I'm not even talking about just spoken English. You know, being able to speak English is a different thing. Being able to speak English or a particular language is very different from being able to communicate effectively. And it's all about communication. It's all about personality. So these are some of the things, right? So we really focus on key soft skills that make you employable, right? Soft skills that take time to develop. Effective communication skills, language skills. Language skills, I'm talking about, you know, a lot of people want to learn spoken English. And there are different categories of learning spoken English. You see, some people learn spoken English with the hope to just be able to communicate in English. But eventually, what is your proficiency level when it comes to English? Is it business level? Is it native speaker level? Or is it mediocre? Now, English has become important because of globalization, right? So that's why I say language skills, not spoken English skills. And these are two different things, guys. Effective communication and spoken English are two different things. You must understand that. Public speaking skills, presentation skills, something that we are going to do whatever we pursue in our life. Anything, any field, one form of public speaking, one form of presentation, we are going to do, right? We are definitely going to do. And this is not something that you can learn over a couple of years, a couple of months, right? Over a couple of days, over a couple of weeks. It takes time. It takes time. So that falls under personality development module and overall personality development. So this is our first unit, and it's something that I guess everybody must start acquiring. The corporate unit. The corporate unit is where we focus on things like career planning and development. You see, career planning is not just about understanding what type of streams, subject streams I should take up. It's not just about understanding what kind of job opportunities are there for science students, for arts, commerce, sociology, whatever. It's about understanding if I'm suitable for, let's say, example, if you're talking about banking, financial industry, am I suitable? Do I have the personality to be a successful banker? Do I have the personality to be a successful social activist? Do I have the personality to be a successful teacher? So it involves more than just understanding your subject stream's potential. It involves analyzing yourselves, your skills, your strengths, your weaknesses, all these sort of things. And let's just say you have chosen a particular line of profession and you don't have the personality suitable for it, you don't have the skills suitable for it, that's fine. There are ways to build that appropriate personality, right? Sorry. Now, job hunting strategies, guys. I'm not sure how many of you have ever used something called LinkedIn, right? Our trainees here. Oh, by the way, this crowd is a mix of our existing trainees from different modules. And I think some of them, the minority of you guys are people who just came to attend the workshop, right? So get to know each other as well down, you know, the presentation, interact. So job hunting strategies. I'm not sure how many people how many people here have started actually thinking how to hunt for the right jobs. What are the strategies? What are the tools that we can use, right? How can we stop relying only on newspaper announcements? How can we stop relying only on job portals like monster.com, this.com, that.com? How can we utilize LinkedIn to our advantage? Profile development, guys. When it comes to profile development, I'm not talking about just writing up your what you call biodata, which is supposed to be called CV or resume. It's not just about your write-up. It's about developing your profile in the sense that it's about accumulating experiences, short experiences. It's about accumulating skill sets, proofs of skill sets in your biodata. So how do you develop your profile without worrying too much about whether I have a lot of work experience or not? You see, work experience, the number of years you work for doesn't make you more competitive, right? 10 years of work experience doesn't mean anything if you're not capable to do things that somebody with 2 years of work experience can pull off. So it's important that you develop your profile, okay? And once you understand this, it's very important. Then the interview skills. You see, a lot of people, in my life, I've been interviewing people for the past probably 12 years, 10 years, right? One of the main jobs for me was interviewing people, interviewing people for the company I was working for some other company. Okay, Philip Few is in, give me a moment. So based on this 12 years of interview experience, you have to understand one thing. What I wanted to share is it's not about understanding what are the potential interview questions. It's not about preparing answers for the top interview questions. That's easy. It's about understanding why a particular question is asked in an interview. When an interviewer asks you, what are your hobbies? They're not interested in your hobbies per se. They're more interested in understanding your personality. They're more interested in understanding whether you are going to be a fit for the company in terms of the culture, right? So there are a lot of things being assessed. There are a lot of perspectives, different perspectives behind each question. You have to prepare for interviews from the interviewer's perspectives, right? So that's another thing, the key corporate skills. When we talk about key corporate skills, I'm talking about team management, managing relationship, managing your bosses, managing your colleagues, managing your subordinates when you go up the ladder, right? So these are very important. Conflict resolution, politics at workplace, it happens, guys. I have been a victim of office politics several times. And believe me, it's not fun to be an office politics victim. It's not fun, right? But you got to be able to handle it. You got to be able to manage it. You got to be able to become a better version of you by being, being a victim of office politics. So you got to understand how to handle all these sort of things, guys, right? And the last one, live projects. When I say live projects, I'm talking about, you see, this is one of the main gaps. We learn a lot of concepts from our books. We study business subjects. We study a lot of important subjects. I don't know, history is also important. Pol science, all kinds of subjects are important. I get it. The concepts are important, right? But what we're lacking is we're lacking exposure to the real work environment. And if I say I want to get some exposure, real work environment, let's say I can't just walk into a company and say, you know what, I want to learn things like how companies function, etc. I want to learn from your company. You can't just walk into a company and do that. But then imagine if you get to learn. Imagine if you get to learn from real companies. Imagine if you are a part of mini life projects of real businesses and real functions. You get to be a part of that, and that's how you develop your profile. That's how you become competitive amongst your competitors. But a lot of us, what do? We focus on certificates. We focus on marks. But employers, do they want your marks? No, because you cannot hang your certificate on the office wall and expect the company to grow, guys. So we enable our trainees to be exposed to live projects. We have companies in our ecosystem who are more than willing to give you opportunities. You see, companies are not just going to let you guys have a part-time role, enter their company and explore what's happening inside the company. This is exactly what you need to learn. Companies won't just say yes like that, but we do have businesses who are willing to offer you, other companies in our network who are willing to offer you that opportunity. And when you have the time, do it, guys, because handling or being part of live projects, maybe 10 live projects, is equivalent to having 3 years of work experience. And I'm being serious about it. That's a corporate module. And I guess this is important for everyone. This is important for people who still haven't finished their higher secondary, right? Who just finished a +2, class 12, people who are undergraduates, people who have already graduated, people who are pursuing their masters, people who have completed the masters, or even some of you who might be having 2 years or 3 years or 4 years of work experience and you want to change your career. It's important. Last but not the least, of corporate modules. What kind of arms do we have? I've just listed a few here. We haven't covered everything. We do have hospitality, aviation, culinary, makeup, call center trading. SME stands for small medium enterprise. Small medium enterprise is nothing but companies which are small in size. The headcount is very small. Headcount, hi Ravana, it's nothing but the number of people working there. Maybe the number of people working in an SME, small medium enterprise, could be about 3 to 5. scale enterprises, right? Medium-sized enterprises, probably the number of employees working there could be 15 to 20. MNCs, multinational corporations, are companies who have global presence. Maybe the headquarters is in Delhi, but they have presence in Myanmar, Singapore, United Kingdom, whatnot, different nations. And typically, these companies, the number of employees are not less than, I guess, 150 to 200, nothing less than that, right? So it depends. Noina, if you want to enter an SME, smaller company, it doesn't mean that it's easier. It also doesn't mean if you start your career in a smaller company, it doesn't mean your growth prospects are going to be small. It's going to be very huge as well. There are pros and cons of each and every type of company here. Then career overseas, right? What it takes to build career in places like Singapore, United Kingdom. If you have any questions about building career in Singapore, you can ask me because I have lived there for a very long time after the United Kingdom. And if you want to ask about United Kingdom from career perspective, you can ask me as well, but you can also save that question for Mr. Daniel, who's going to enter at 6 p.m. He's from London. And guys, please do pay some basic human respects in terms of turning your videos on when you talk to him, because it's going to be lunchtime for him. And just because I told him so, he agreed to it, right? During his lunchtime, it's 1:30 p.m. It's about 1 p.m. right now over there. At 1:30 p.m., which is lunchtime, he's going to enter. Okay, so these are some of the things, guys. Okay, corporate module, cabin crew trainee. We have people who are training for cabin crew training programs here. We have people who are studying hospitality management here. Now you see, 7 Institute, we don't like to, advertise too much. We don't want to make too much of noise. But once you enter here, you see all of these things happening underneath the surface. Red entrepreneurship modules. Personally speaking, this is my favorite module. This is my favorite. I do have some entrepreneurs who are actually my trainee, who own company, who own their own startup, right? One of them I wouldn't mention. I think he's going to enter tomorrow because I told him to do so. I'll introduce him tomorrow. He's from Manipur. He's an ex-student of Manipur University who studied visual effects. He has a delivery startup company, which is doing really good. And I'm his proud teacher. But anyway, entrepreneurship, this is what we focus on: business management, entrepreneurship development, things that are important if you want to be a business leader, leadership and people management, recruitment. Recruitment is a process of selecting the right people for your company. Recruitment is a process of selecting the right people for other companies that you're working for. The other companies could be a customer. I'm not going to go into details. You can ask me questions and they'll be easier. So guys, entrepreneurship is not something, it's highly misunderstood. Entrepreneurship, we say we want to become entrepreneur because we want to create jobs. Wrong. That's just a small, tiny part of being an entrepreneur, right? Entrepreneurship is not just about running an organization or being your own boss. Entrepreneurship is more than that. It is a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle that's not easy to live. And through these modules, we give the right education on entrepreneurship. And I'll tell you why, guys. I'll tell you why is because in this past, I don't know, 15 years or so, working with so many different organizations, I only truly became a true entrepreneur after 10 years, probably. It took 10 years for me to understand what true entrepreneurship is about. How can that be called some sort of a job giver? It's beyond being a job giver, right? So we focus on developing true entrepreneurs, not just talking about, some fancy stuff here and there. Okay. So these are what we do at 7 Institute and what type of courses we have. We have workshops, like you guys are here to attend workshops. We have intensive micro courses. When I say intensive micro courses, I'm talking about courses that can last maybe for 5 days or 6 days, but it's going to be intensive. It's almost like a commando or Navy SEAL training program wherein we focus on very specific areas. Let's say, example, communication skills. And we focus on expression skills and public speaking skills only these two areas for like intensive period of 5 to 6 months. Sorry, 6 days. Those are micro courses. These are for people who want to learn something quickly, time limitations, who have money limitations as well. So we thought, why not make our courses available in such a way that people get maximum value out of it in a short period of time and most affordable fees rate. Okay, now we have the micro courses which could last from 12 days to 2 months, medium term courses 3 months up to 8 months. Sorry, medium term would be 3 to 5 months, long term would be up to 10 months. And we have the red membership, which means you become a part of this platform. If you are a job seeker, you will get job alerts which are not announced. Job alerts which are not announced. Okay, and now and then you'll be given access to workshops like this. Now and then you get counseling sessions with the experts over here. So that's about a membership. So there are a lot of things if we talk about RAD, but in a nutshell, that's what we do. Okay, and later you can ask questions. Now let's get to the exciting part. Give me a moment right here, 30 seconds. All right, guys, before I start talking about this is the main thing that I want to focus on today. It's important for each and every one of you here, people who want to be entrepreneurs, people who want to do whatever in life. Okay, this is what I wanted to share with you. And unfortunately, I only have half an hour extra to focus on some on knowledge transfer, high tide, right? I only have half an hour of knowledge transferring with you guys. So pay attention, ask questions, stop me in between if you don't understand. All right. Okay. And in between, what we'll do is Sophia and Henry, they are going to show some important stuff about the potentials of each subject stream. Like for example, if you're finished your BBM, what kind of masters can you pursue instead of MBA? Right? What kind of job opportunities are there if you finish economics? What kind of job titles are there? For each job title, what kind of skill sets you need to start preparing? What's the salary range? What kind of companies? These are some of the things that they'll show quickly in between. All right. But before I continue, guys, I would like to induct our partner and my trainee from Myanmar, okay, from Burma. His name is Philip Theo. Philip, if you could kindly turn your camera on and just say a couple of lines. If you're there, if you can hear me.
Hello.
Hi, Philip. So, guys, this is Philip. He's from Myanmar, popularly known as Burma. Really bad situation going on there in Myanmar. But every time I ask Philip, hey, Philip, let's get online. Let's talk about good stuff. He's always there, right? So, Philip, so please make him feel comfortable. He is obviously a foreigner here. He's very new to our culture. But there are some similarities that we and the people of Burmese share, and I'm really happy to have him as a business partner because we are going to build Southeast Asia market along with him. And here's the thing: it's not just about Myanmar, it's not just about other countries like Vietnam and all. With the help of Philip, we will be working on bringing job opportunities here from other places in Southeast Asia, or you can start building career in places like Vietnam, other Southeast Asian countries, basically, right? So we are going to be in touch with a lot of employers from that region of the world as well. So Philip, just 2-3 sentences, maybe you can say hi. We have a bunch of people here, existing trainees, and some people who are just here for the workshop.
Okay, so hello everyone. This is Philip Theo. I think there's a lot of new faces today, isn't it? Yeah, so I'm an official partner of RAD Institute, represented in Myanmar. So I cooperate with Dane and his team in order to run a corporate training program here in Myanmar. Yeah, so and not just in Myanmar, so we are planning to extend our networking with South Asian country as well. Once everything is settled here in Myanmar, I think you guys know what's happening here in Myanmar right now is terrible. Politics is not stable yet. That is why we are right now not to the point that we want to be, kind of stuck in somewhere. But unfortunately, Dim and me get things going right now, and we think we can plan things out as soon as possible. So yeah, nice to meet everyone.
Hi, Philip. Nice to meet you too.
Okay. Oh,
Thank you.
it's Li Shi. Yeah, I thought.
Oh, that's Leisha, yeah. I
Last
think
time.
you're getting used. I think you're getting used to how to pronounce names over here, right? Which is
Yeah,
good.
yeah. I got
Thank
it
you.
right. Lishi, right?
Leisha, yeah. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Philip. All the way from Myanmar, even though the situation is really bad over there.
Sure.
So I hope you enjoy the show tonight. Yeah, we'll be getting back to you for more questions as well down the line.
Okay, sure.
All right, guys. So this is what is important, guys. Maybe some of you, I'm not sure if it's really clear, but let me zoom in a bit. Focus on this word, phrase, thoughts build up. Thoughts build up, guys. Now, this is important for everybody. I'm not here trying to talk about something that's philosophical. I'm not trying to talk about something that is just used as a source to motivate people. I'm talking practical stuff. I'm talking sense here. I'm talking the basic foundation of a successful career, right? It all starts from here, guys. And this is what exactly we mainly focus on training our trainees over here. And they have been struggling to do really good because it takes time. But guys, I don't mean to embarrass you in front of new people, but you will get there. You will get there. Yeah, so thoughts build up. It's to do with expressions, guys. Expression skills. Think about it. Think about it for a moment. If you cannot express yourselves, okay, think about it for a moment. Maybe you've written 100 papers, you've completed 500 theses, you are, I don't know, whatnot, you've scored 100%, I don't know, whatnot, you have learned skills, right? Think about it for a moment. If you're not able to express your thoughts, your emotions regarding something, regarding yourself, regarding your skill sets, think about in a situation you're sitting right in front of an interviewer and he says, okay, give me an example of where you can say that you had faced some challenges and you solved those challenges. Imagine a situation when you're stuck and you can't express yourself. Let's say you are an entrepreneur and you're standing in front of few people like this, and somebody asks something about your company, right? Some important question. You know this answer. You know what the answer is, but then you're stuck. You have no thoughts. Guys, the problem here is that we go on jumping to learning foreign languages, spoken English skills, Japanese, Korean, before understanding that language is the easy part. What is important is the ability to translate your thoughts into words, right? And a lot of people struggle with that. That is the problem. So here I'm talking about expression skills. Now, a lot of people over these several years, students, professionals, businessmen, right? Corporate executives, I have worked with them. The problem is they are not able to express themselves naturally. Whether it's an interview, whether it's a public speech, whether it's a group discussion, whether it's a business presentation, the problem is people are not able to express themselves immediately. And being able to do that is what's called expression skills. And now, what is expression skills? The ability to build thoughts. Because in the first place, if you do not have thoughts in your mind relevant to the topic, relevant to the question, relevant to what you're supposed to say, how can you express in words? That is what you need to work on. If I tell one of you guys to stand up and talk about maybe, I don't know, this piece of cloth here, it's a blue colored towel, hand towel. Talk to me about this blue colored towel, only 3 or 4 sentences and make sense out of it. You're gonna struggle with one thing. Well, struggle with building the thoughts. Maybe you can speak English like an American or a British. Maybe you can speak Chinese like a mainland Chinese person. But the problem is not the language. The problem is your ability to express. And you can express only when you can have the thoughts, relevant thoughts. Okay? Now, this is what I wanted to talk to you guys about. And this is exactly where a lot of people are lacking behind when it comes to competition. Okay? So number one, you got to understand one thing, guys. When people ask you a question, what's the first thing we do? Somebody tell me. Okay, let's say when somebody asks you a simple question, what's your favorite movie? What's the first thing you do, guys? Tell me, one of you. What's the first thing you do?
We think before we speak.
Sorry? We think.
Thinking
Yeah,
about movie.
We think about the movies, we think, right? And when you think, what happens inside your little brain?
We see a lot of movie.
You imagine, you start imagining, you remember the visuals of the movie. That's the first thing, right? And then you start building up thoughts in terms of what are the things that you remember about the movie, what are the lessons you learned from the movie. You build these thoughts up, then you start relating these thoughts to your life, your experiences. And then the next step comes, which is translating those thoughts into words. Now, whether you translate your thoughts into English, Chinese, Arabic, that's the easy part. And a lot of us make the mistake of focusing on being able to speak a language instead of being able to translate our thoughts. This is the reason why a lot of people get stuck at interviews on simple questions. This is the reason why a lot of people get stuck when they're giving or are in the midst of giving a public speech or presentation, because their thoughts run out. The ability to quickly access your memories relevant to the topic, relevant to the question being asked, your ability to access those relevant memories, right? And to quickly build up thoughts is your basic foundation of a great expression skills. Okay? So how quickly can you access your memory lanes, guys? I train these things. Even somebody as experienced as Philip, I train him on this, right? I train this on people who are more experienced in this. I'm still training on this. I'm trying to improve a quick access to my memory lanes, because guys, question nama kumba, answer nama kumba, anything, speech nama piba, whatever it is, it all comes from our memories and experience. Now, the reason why it's so difficult to talk about maybe something like this, it's a pen. All of us know this, right? All of us know what this is. It's a pen, right? Somebody put yourself on mute, my friend, whoever you are, okay? It's a pen. We all know this, we've been using for entire life, but why do we get stuck when we are going to talk about pen? When we talk about pen, when we are supposed to talk about pen, what do we depend on? Our memories associated with pens. Maybe from high school days, maybe about exams, maybe our favorite brand of pen, I don't know, then experience related to pen, good experience, bad experience. And that's when you are able to build your thoughts, and then consecutively, you translate your thoughts into words. That's your first step of improving expression skills. Not learning language first, by the way, okay? Not learning key skills, this and that. What you're gonna do if you learn how to give public speaking, if you learn how to give public speech, what you're gonna do if you learn business, what you're gonna do if you learn presentation skills, when you cannot express naturally. This is the reason why people get stuck when they say, introduce yourself. You say your full name, you say what you're doing. Apart from them, what else? What defines Amo? What defines Henry? What defines me? Why do we get stuck when we talk about ourselves? Because our inability to access our memories, which are relevant to that question, guys. This is something that you need to work on. And once you become being able to naturally express and respond, 60% of the battle is won, because you can't run away from this problem. Relating, being able to relate to yourself. When I'm saying things like this, like right now, I've been talking about the importance of learning expression skills, for example. Your job is to try to relate what I'm trying to say personally. So example of relating would be, let's say you are in 12th standard. I don't know, some of you are. Are you relating to yourself? Are you thinking, well, maybe I do lack in these areas. Maybe I should improve myself in it. Why do I lack in these areas? Maybe you're somebody with experience, work experience. You're thinking, oh, okay, I spoke to this manager or I spoke to this customer. They asked me a question and I was stuck. I lost words. Why? Right? Relate. The ability to relate things to your experience as quickly as possible. This is the basic foundation of anything. No point if you prepare for interviews and group discussions, stop interview questions, this, that, blah, blah, blah. If you go enter the interview room and you're lost. And that is because your access to your memory lanes are actually very slow. Imagine your brain or mind to be a library. Imagine walking into a library wherein you find history books in literature section. You find literature books in whatnot section. You find technology related topics in maybe, I don't know, something completely irrelevant. This is what has happened to our brains. It's not organized. Our memories are not organized, guys. It takes for us to organize our memories. It takes for us to have quick access to our memories. There is a huge psychological methodology, social methodology, cultural methodology, scientific methodology behind how can you improve your quick access to your memory lane so that you can respond naturally. I can't complete that today, right? Okay, the mother of all structures. Now, the next thing you need to understand, structures. So what are structures? Structures are basically a map, a mental map. Mental map. Like when you want to get to a destination, you're traveling somewhere and you've never been to that place, you obviously rely on a map, right? It can be a digital map like Google Map. It can be your traditional map, whatever it is. It could be asking people on the way where the direction is. Once you know the direction to reach your destination, where regardless of whether you've been to that place or not, you feel a bit confident. You feel like maybe, okay, this is when I should take a turn. Maybe this is when I should slow my speed down. I don't know, whatever it is. You gain confidence and you can start kind of imagining how you should go about reaching your destination. Now, this is your mental map, the structures. There are about 100 structures. And I think our trainees at 7 Institute, Leishi and all, how many structures have you learned so far? Maybe 4, 3? How many structures have you learned so far?
4.
Sorry?
Yes. Yeah.
4. You have 96 more structures to learn. Imagine you learn 96 structures that you can use as a mental map when you're talking to people in social setting. It could be social communication, business setting, interview setting, whatnot. Imagine you have 100 mind maps. Basically, structures are things that allow you to have a control over your speech, over the conversation. It helps you understand where to start, how to continue, how to end, basically. The ABC of expression skills. Okay, so for example, IBC is the, yeah, I'm happy to share this with all of you here. We had a challenge, 10 days challenge. Here we have something called 10 days challenge. Every 10 days, every 10 days, we have this challenge in which we test our trainees in terms of how much they've learned. So we tested our advanced guys, advanced trainees. Sorry, who was that? Oh, I don't know. Somebody was trying to message. Who was that? Sophia,
It's
Henry,
Yunring.
did you know?
It's Yunring. Her connection is she's just
Okay,
updating.
no
Her
problem.
connection is not cool.
No problem,
okay.
no problem. Okay, no problem. So anyway, guys, so what I was saying is that, so we have this something called 10 days challenge, right? So it's like keeping track of our trainees' progress. And we have groups of students like basic level, advanced level. Advanced level, we had this competition yesterday, last night, and they're still struggling. But I'll tell you what, you guys have improved a lot. But you have a lot more to do before you learn your new structure. So IBC in a nutshell, it stands for Introduction, Body, Conclusion. Now it all sounds simple. It all sounds plain when you listen. Oh, introduction, body, conclusion. Now the main thing here is understanding the goal behind each step. And this is a structure that you can use in any scenario. Interviews, debates, extempore speech, group discussions, presentations, whatnot. The whole idea about IBC is something called IDA. Look upon this. This is an age-old, solid concept that I trained on maybe in my MBA 16 years ago. It stands for attention, interest, decision, action. Have you got their attention, the person you're talking to? It could be anybody, interviewer, your customer, I don't know, right? Your friend. Have you got their attention? Now that you got their attention, have you got them interested? Now that you got them interested, have you motivated to take up a decision? Now that you've motivated to take up a decision, have you inspired them to take an action? For example, if you're an interview and you're an interviewee, have you gotten your interviewer's attention with your answer? Now that you've gotten the attention of your interviewer, have you gotten the interest? Now that you have his interest, do you think you have motivated him to take a decision on whether he should hire you or not? If he's taken a decision, have you inspired him to take an action on his decision right now or tomorrow? That is the essence of communication skills, guys. Not speaking like a little American or British brat, yeah? So introduction, the whole goal is to build curiosity, guys, right? The goal of the stage, introduction, when you're talking about something, when you're giving a speech, when you're doing a self-introduction, when you're answering a question to an interviewer, when you're giving a speech, is to arouse curiosity, okay? The next thing, body, is wherein you build rapport. Give me a moment, it's a bit loose here. Okay, to build rapport. Anybody knows what this word stands for? Rapport. The T is supposed to be silent when you pronounce it. Rapport. What is rapport, guys?
Building a relationship. Emotional
Building a what?
relationship. Building emotional relationship between the two persons. Or between the two
Building
group.
an emotional relationship, it's a part of rapport building. It's about emotional connection. So when I talk to you, I build an emotional connection, as in you are able to relate to what I'm trying to say. If you're an interviewee, the interviewer asks you a question, let's say, okay, what are your dreams and aspirations? Okay, what are your 5 years goal down the line? What do you want to achieve? What do you want to do in life? Your answer should be able to hit him emotionally and mentally. Your answer should be able to take him back to his memory where he was just like you one day, where he was an interviewee like you. That is what building rapport with somebody is. And when you're able to build this initial rapport with people you talk to, you are moving in the right direction. Okay, and it's easier said than done. Easier said than done. Okay, and the last one, the conclusion, impact. What kind of impact are you leaving when you're done talking to people? Right? If you, again, let's take the interview scenario. Your interview is over, and let's say I'm the interviewer, and I interviewed maybe I don't know, somebody was here, I don't know, Rosita, right? I interviewed Rosita. Rosita answered a question. The interview is over. Does she leave an impact on me mentally and emotionally that I think out of all the 50 interviewees, there was something different about Rosita? It inspires me to think more about her than the other interviewees. That is because she probably had left an impact. So these structure, IBC, you won't find this on Google, guys. Try your best. Try your best. Go to other universities, Google, YouTube, go and try to find it. You won't find it. I'll tell you why. Because this doesn't come from books. It comes from experience. Okay? So whatever you're hearing right now, if you are able to self-reflect, you should be able to use a little bit of this, right? But of course, I have a shortage of time, and next Daniel might be ready to come in. Some of the magic phrases, guys. These are just simple phrases. And since it's about English, and since we are in a multilingual environment, I'm focusing on the magic phrases in English. Simple words like this, you look at them. I'd like to address few points regarding how you open your speech. I like to highlight few things with regards to. I like to share a few thoughts pertaining to. Now, you might think these are just some simple sentences, but there's a reason behind why each word is chosen. Right? Words that come out of your mouth, your choice of words when you communicate socially, professionally, says a lot about your personality, says a lot about your outlook towards life. Some of phrases that we use in our introduction stage. Some of the phrases, I'm not going to go through these phrases, right? Let's say the body. There are two things. Your introduction is over, you introduce yourself, you introduce the topic, right? So for example, in the introduction stage, what is important, guys? If you want to arouse people's curiosity, let's say you're given the topic, let's say the topic is weather. Today is weather. Don't say, I'm going to talk about weather today. Mention the category that weather belongs to. Weather belongs to what? Weather belongs to what, guys? 7 Institute trainees, speak up. You speak or you lose, 7 Institute.
So is it climate?
Sorry, Amo?
Climate.
Climate, or maybe a natural phenomenon. Don't you think
Yeah.
so? Weather is a natural phenomenon. So say, today I'm going to talk about one of the most common natural phenomena. Okay, if your topic is laptop, what can you say? How can you introduce? What's the category that technology? Oh, sorry, I said it. Oh man, laptop belongs to technology, right? So today I'm going to talk about one of the most popular technological products. I won't say I'm going to talk about laptop today, because the moment I say that, people are going to start forming their opinions, blah, 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 what they know about laptop, and you're going to lose their curiosity. But if you say one of the most common or useful technological product, people are going to think, is it about mobile phone? What is he going to talk about? Right. You have already gained a little bit of their attention. Then when it comes to body, guys, you think body is just about the main part, but it's about two things. First, you want to say a few things that people will agree on. You don't want to start your conversation, whether, again, social or you're a business or you're an interview, whatnot. You don't want to start a conversation with points that you feel that some people might not agree with or might not understand. You want to start with points that people will believe generally about something, whatever your topic is. Start with that. Then proceed with your personal opinion. Okay? That is what body is made of. These are some of the phrases. Conclusion. You think about it as a movie, guys. What happens? Trailer. Okay. What do you see in a trailer, guys? This question is open to everybody here, not just 7 Institute trainees. Movie trailers, what do they show you? Serious amount of quietness here in this room. Although you guys are very, see guys, I'm not a teacher, I'm not a coach, I'm not God, I'm no one better than you. I'm just the same as you. You guys can be better than people like us by 100 folds. The problem with you guys is that you're too shy, just too shy for your own good. I know that there are some people here in this room, 41 of you. I know that some of you could even say things that could be more meaningful then what I'm saying, or all of the speakers that are going to attend, they're going to say, why do you underestimate your values and abilities, guys? You guys are so smart. Do not underestimate yourselves. Yeah. Okay. So movie trailer. What does a movie trailer show you?
Sir, they give us curiosity.
They give you what?
Curiosity. Wanting to know
Curiosity.
what we,
Why?
yeah.
Why do movie trailers give you curiosity? Why? Why
Because
do
they
you
will
get
depict, because they depict only few scenes that
Huh?
will give us a sense to wanting to watch the movie.
Okay, they give you a highlight. They don't tell you the entire story. They arouse your curiosity. They make you feel like, oh, what is this movie about? That's a part of introduction, wherein you don't talk about the main topic straight away, but you talk about the category. If you're talking about Nike, what can you say? Well, today I would like to share a few thoughts pertaining to one of the most common or famous what? What category?
Brand.
Brands. Then maybe you can zoom further down into subcategories if you can. So you show a trailer, right? Body is where you tell the entire story, right? That's the main part of the movie. What about conclusion? Conclusion, what is the part of the movie that is conclusion?
Message.
Yeah, but movie that the message I did now. What is it? Climax? Twist? Yeah, we say it right. Movie climax and twist. What kind of impact that leaves on your brain? It's like, oh, what's going to happen? Is there a sequel that's going to come out? What was the meaning of that, whole scene? Right? Oh, I have a question. I want to know more about this. That's exactly the point of effective expression skills, guys. That's the kind of impact you want to leave on the listener. Your listener could be your interviewer. Your listener could be just a friend of yours who you're trying to convince on something. Your listener could be a bunch of investors you want investments from. Your listener could be anybody, right? The whole idea of effective expression skills is being able to leave that strong message where the listeners are inspired to ask questions, to raise opinions, to think about you and not just what you said, not just about your skills, not just about your certificates, not just about your business idea. It is what builds your personal brand. Okay, guys, this is important. This is the most important stuff, if I may say, whichever professional line. It took me years to realize this, unfortunately. Okay, guys, so I'm open to question before Danielle comes in. We're just 3 minutes away. Anybody has any questions or has the courage built up to ask questions? I'm open to it. You see, guys, the ability to ask questions is also a part of communication skills.
Sir, I have a
Okay, Amo, go ahead.
So when you talk about accessing our memories immediately when we are trying to express something, so I want to you to give some advice on how to improve on doing that.
Categorize your memories. Memories are okay. See, basically, I'm so sorry, some of you. I'm not sure if Sophia is Ritika's niece here already. What's her name?
Yes, like she's already here.
What's her name? Can I see you, my friend? Don't feel left out because you're at least, we all are Indians here. There's a foreigner here who's supposed to feel left out, but he doesn't seem to feel left out. What's her name? My friend, come out, talk to me.
Okay, actually, I don't know how to pronounce her name. That's why, like, it's Shahana or like.
Okay, that should be right.
Oh, Shana.
Sana. Sana,
Okay.
can I see you, my friend? Sana,
Yeah,
come out to sure.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening, Sana. So what have you completed? 12th? I heard from Ritika. You
Yeah,
look
I've
so much
just
like
completed my 12th.
completed 12. Okay, what do you want to pursue further?
Actually, I have been interested in business. My father
Okay.
runs a business and it's a nursing
Cool.
bureau. So I
Okay.
have been interested in business, but also have been interested in language. language and cultures. So
Good, good,
yeah.
fantastic, fantastic. We will be talking about business as well a lot, and I'm
Yes.
hoping people ask me questions on business. You can ask me questions on business. Okay, Sana. But
Okay.
Sana, welcome. Good to see you. You're looking
Good to see you
active.
too.
You're looking. Thank you so much, Sana. Okay. I hope you understood so far whatever we talked about. At
Yeah,
least
it
10%.
was really interesting. It was really
Okay,
interesting.
great, great. So we do have your age group here. We do have some people who are your little bit senior, right?
Yes.
Just enjoy the show, okay? Take it as a show, all of you, okay? Anyway, guys, okay. So do you have, okay, so Amo, how do you improve your quick access to memories? Categorize your memories, guys. See, when we talk about something, let's say this watch, right? It's a digital watch. What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Technology.
Technology. What else does comes to your mind when you think about technology? So many things I know, but when I say technology, watch or iPhone or whatever, what comes to your mind next? What are possible things that can come to your mind? Events, right? An event could be anything where you are talking about somebody who wants an iPhone and you want an iPhone. An event could be you going to a shopping mall, and you're looking at the iPhone, you're like, oh, I wish I could buy that with my own money. Your experience. So what you guys need to do in order to have quicker access to your memories, you got to start classifying, categorizing your memories, just like libraries, how there are different sections. The most common memory categories are events, relationships, successes and failures. These are the most three common categories. The fourth one, your dreams, goals, aspirations. The fifth one, people you have looked up to. There are so many ways you can categorize your memories, guys. So you identify your main categories. Start with events, guys. Events is what is the main category of any memories, right? Start writing things down that are, okay, you go back in time. This is the exercise that you guys need to do, right? Categorize your memories, maintain a journal, right? And then every week, make it a point. Let's say you've categorized your memories into events, relationships, successes, and failures. Make it a point that every week in these three categories, you're writing as much as possible that you can remember 2 years behind, 3 years behind. The choice is yours, right? And eventually try to relate to your present moment and what you learned from the past about relationship, about life, about this, about that. You keep doing this, guys, and your access to memories will become faster. When your access to memories become faster, your ability to build thoughts become faster. When you build thoughts faster, you express quicker. And the choice is which language. But you learn language and you start from that's the wrong place to start. You basically learn how to build thoughts, and along the way, you learn the language. 80% of your time should be focused on being able to build thoughts, right? Along the way, you learn whatever language. Even if it's predator, I don't know, the language predator, alien speak, whatever it is. So guys, that brings me to the end of my part for now. I will be in the background. I'll be happy to answer questions. I'm not sure if Daniel is here. Sophia, you could introduce Daniel, but before Daniel, gives his precious time, does anybody have any questions regarding what we talked about so far?
Yes, sir, I do. In the beginning, you said that our hobbies can depict our personality when we go for interview. So I really don't have idea how would the interviewer will know our personality through our hobbies. So I'll just state my hobbies. My hobbies are I love reading, and I also make videos, and I engage with handicraft work. So how can this depict my personality?
So when you say you love reading, if I was an interviewer, I know that you're somebody who will be suitable for research work. Research, as a researcher, it takes interest to read. Okay? And what's your other hobby?
Making videos.
Making videos. That tells me that you are creative. You want to put your time on doing things that are creative. You're not lazy. Maybe you like technology. Maybe you don't want to use technology by being creative, but that tells me that you are creative, that you like new ideas, that means I could probably think that you are suitable for the marketing team or the PR team. What was the next hobby?
Handicraft works.
Handicraft works, right? That again tells me that you pay attention to details. Paying attention to details, meaning when you are doing something, you're very detailed. Where is the alignment correct? Every point, is it in line? Blah, blah, blah. So that tells me you pay attention to details. That tells me that I should hire you.
Smart. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, but it's not a real offer. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's a smart answer, Bedo.
Prove yourself, my friend, that you can work with me. But anyway, thank you, Leishi. Anybody from outside of our ecosystem has any question? Because I cannot hold this back for too long. Daniel has to rush back. So please feel free, gather the courage. Remember, every question matters. Every question matters. Every doubt matters. Every story, every point is beautiful. And remember, you're better than me, guys. You're better than me. So please ask me question.
Yeah, hello everyone.
Yeah.
I'm Daniel. So
oh, Daniel, so sorry. Sophia is gonna do a bit of info for
right,
you.
okay,
Yeah.
Oh, so like, is it okay for me to go now? I believe there is
Yeah,
no
please
more
do that, and nobody's gonna ask you questions. I'll jump back in later on, Sophia.
Sure.
And Daniel, thank you so much. And guys, please pay attention all the way from London during this lunch break. Daniel, you haven't met Philip. Sophia, you could just make them say hi, hello, and I'll see you guys soon.
Sure. Hello guys, good evening. We have Mr. Daniel over here. Actually, he's from Manipur and currently, like, he's now in London and he's a data scientist. Thank you for your time, Mr. Daniel. And we have Mr. Phillips Pio over here. He's from Myanmar and he's our business partner. Phillips, feel free to interact with him.
Thanks a lot. So hi everyone, nice to meet you all. So I'm basically from
Hi, Daniel. Nice to meet you too.
Hi, great. Yeah, great to see so many young minds all together in one platform. I'm sure you guys can do a lot what the previous generation has missed. So, and here I am just to give you some guidance or any kind of encouragement, if I can, from my end, to give you any kind of inspiration that, you know, that our generation is here to make a change and make our place a lot better than what our previous generation. So yeah, just to introduce myself, I am basically a data scientist, data analyst. So what in the present generation, in the current times, as you see, data is sort of your new gold, and it is what is basically needed to drive a lot of the modern decisions, automations, and a lot of the business as well as political decisions are made because we have so much of data. So that's what basically I do, help people or business make decisions based on empirical evidence, because you know you can't bypass data, be it. So you see the power of the new internet companies like Google, Facebook, Instagram, you know, you name it. Everybody is harnessing data to make new solutions. Be it also a great advantage is in you know, new developments has been made in healthcare industry. That's one of the biggest achievements, be it the COVID related decision making process, or be it cancer detections in terms of, or any kind of you know, technology that's been used in healthcare a lot. So yeah, that's briefly my introduction. Is there anything particular that you guys have any questions or that want me to talk about? Then let me know.
Daniel. Okay.
Okay, I would like to add one thing, Mr. Daniel. Like, we have over here students who have just passed out 12 standard, and most of them, they are just like in their graduation as for now. So like that's the average. I just wanted to add that one. And we have a member from Delhi too. Like, so it is a mixed one from Myanmar, Manipur, and like Delhi. Thank you.
Yeah, so one thing that I would advise everyone in your, when you are especially in the 12th standard, like what we missed is, you always think in terms of the next step, right? In your graduation, what should I undertake and how should that lead me to? So I think you should clearly think in terms of your prospects, in the way that we are so limited to thinking like, if you don't become a doctor or your engineer, or if you're not from a rich family, that your future is quite not as bright as the others. But I mean, doctors, engineers, they are a real good career path for anybody to launch. If you can crack the entrance exam, that's great. All the best. If not, don't lose your heart or don't be discouraged, because there's a lot you can do in between your graduation, right? 3 months or 3 years of a graduation time, it's a lot of time for anybody to learn a lot of things, and you can use those skills in your future employment, because at the time of when you apply for a job, employers are not really interested in what you learn. They will be more interested in what you can do, what your skill set are, what kind of skill set you can bring to the organization, what kind of value you can add to any organization. So think in terms of way that, in this 3 years of my graduation, what am I going to improve myself? I mean, studies and all, it's good, but if you study, if you're studying economics or history, or unless you want to do a PhD, I think the grades, it's okay up to a certain extent, but I think that's not really important. I think more important is your soft skills, your thinking ability, your ability to solve problems. So if you want to work in the sales department, or if you want to go to any kind of communication oriented, so I think that's one really key that nobody thinks about, is having a very good communication skill, to have the confidence to solve problems, right? I think that's what you should focus on. And I think if you want to study a technical course, be it science, maths, then that's a different matter, because then you can really focusing on improving your ability to think in terms of a very technical way. But I'm just saying you should also improve the other side, which is your soft skills and problem solving, and how to mingle with other people, because this will prove a lot important when you apply for a job in the future. Another thing that I would also like to highlight is people are always in that mindset that you have to get a job, and that's what drives everybody. But what people do not think is, I can also be a job creator, right? What if you don't get the kind of job that you want at the end, or if it doesn't exist? You could be, another aspect is, you could be a job provider, right? You can start small. You can be like a small entrepreneur, a small medium enterprise. You can start from the very grassroots level and think in a way that, what can I bring to the market that doesn't already exist, or what can I optimize that already exists? Say a very simple example is, e-commerce came in our society, be it Flipkart or all the names that came in. They haven't been here very long enough. They have been here like, I don't know, 7, 8, maybe 10 at most. So you could really think of harnessing the power of internet and think creatively in terms of how you can use internet and become an entrepreneur. I think this is one of the major disruptions you will see across everywhere. Like the brick and mortar shops, like your usual shops and dukans that exist, has been disrupted by a lot of these e-commerce, e-shops. So you will see a lot of business models. So you can even now hire domestic help from a service provider who has sort of built an agency kind of model. So you see, so that's the kind of problem you solve, right? So think in terms of this. If you not just don't think that I have to study my 3 years of degree and I will, at the end, all I need is to find a job. Okay, that idea is good, but that's not the only option you have. You can think of becoming an entrepreneur and see what kind of gaps exist in the society, right? Nowadays, just for example, in Manipur, in Imphal, and that area, we don't have a very organized sector of let's say a domestic help, like somebody needs some help to come in, do a bit of cooking, and then you can nowadays people are busy, right? So if you want to just hire a cook, you have to like go through, through your social connections, search for people, and not necessarily you will get a cook. So why don't you start an agency kind of model where you bridge the gap between people who needs a domestic help and people who are able to offer free labor, right? Who can be good cooks, or who have some time in their diary. So you bring those people and you provide that service to that the domestic help. And I'm just saying an example of a cook, right? It could be many things, like it could be event planning, it could be somebody who needs just a handyman to come and do such job. So this is just a small example in the society, but you will find there are a lot of other things that exist. So you can think in terms of this kind of way, like if in these 3 years, what else can I do? You don't even have to wait 3 years. You can start off, build the connections. And people have this mentality like, if I don't get a government job, then my job prospects are over. But that's not it, right? That's what we see, especially in developed nations like United Kingdom, or across Europe, or be it United States. You see that the big companies like Tata, Infosys, Wipro are very small compared to like all the small medium companies that exist. There are like so many different companies who just solve a very little problem, and majority of in the country we have, the majority is composed of this kind of small companies rather than big companies. That's one of the surprises that I found coming in this country, because when I was in India, people were always craving to work for all these big multinationals, right? IBM and Wipro and whatnot and Dell, and if you don't get to work in this company, you think like, oh, I'm going to be having a problem. Because the reason is, we Indians, we do not think enough of how we can build the small companies, and together we can make a big economy. But things are changing with the coming of internet, as well as now this new generation. They don't think like the generation of our fathers or our uncles. We all think differently. So things have been changing. So you guys can do the same, that in Manipur on its own, like we have so much of, say, things that we can solve, like I heard the Manipur government is trying to promote a lot of self-sustainable kind of business model, where we don't have to import, because we have lots of food shortages, right? So we are trying to grow fruits and vegetables so that we don't have to import. Or you can think of growing very high-end export-driven products, like say nuts, like pistachio, badam, and they kind of yield very high amount when you sell it in the markets across India, or even in a wider India. So you can think like what exists in our infrastructure or in our natural resources in Manipur, and how we can export it to other nations, other states. Or can we just balance that that trade deficit? Like we are sort of more buying things from other states rather than rather than we selling out to the other states, right? So how we can balance that? So you can think creatively like this. So yeah, a short of advice, I think, from my end, unless I think you guys can all do very well. The future is so bright. I can imagine myself 12 when I was in my 12th standard, and the whole world was just sort of just open to me, and I had so much spoiled by choices. But then I just only hope that if somebody would have been there to guide us through, explain to us what kind of options, and didn't have to limit ourselves thinking that, I mean, I myself am an engineer, I studied engineering, but that degree didn't come to any kind of purpose, because what I do is completely different from what I studied. So I just wanted to let you guys know that if you don't succeed in an engineering or a medical degree, it doesn't mean that you cannot achieve your dreams and goals, because it's always about planning and about the more you talk to other people, because it opens up your mind, it opens up your brain thinking, also, as well as enrich your your creativity. So I think, yeah, that's what you guys should at least take inspiration from other people. Like one of my colleagues, like a friend of mine who studied with me, he is basically in Imphal, So what he did is he exports a lot of high-end plants, flowers, and a lot of things, and he said he exports it to states like Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu. Although he tries to sell things in Manipur, but the Manipur market is very small because of the size of the population we have, right? So what he did is, rather than focusing in the Manipur market, he focuses on the whole wider Indian market, right? Imagine we are like 1.3 billion people, right? Such a big market we have in all over India. So if you could build a market in for your product, then you are, I mean, that's all you need to do. So what he bridges, he imports plants from Burma. So he doesn't even grow plants in Manipur, like although he does have his fields, crops and things like that, but he imports all the high-end, very expensive products from China through Burma, and he sends it to all the way to Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, and all, so he has solved that problem of a logistics from, of an import export business, basically. So, who would have thought that we could do this, not in our father's generation, but our generation is doing now. And I think we should pass on that responsibility to the coming generation as you all, and start, planning and think, collectively what we can do to, to do better for yourself as well as better for the state and everybody else. Yeah,
Well,
Sophia, I think
thank you,
that's it.
Mr.
I will take some questions if anybody else wants to. Yeah.
Okay, so good afternoon. I heard it is afternoon out there. My name is Daishui, and I would like to ask a couple of questions. So my first question is, with this global pandemic, most government have shut down the educational institutions to condemn the COVID-19. So as a youngster, what kind of skills do we need to inculcate during this time through technologies, or I don't know?
Exactly.
What kind of skills can we inculcate?
Exactly. Very good point, because, that's another thinking that you should be thinking, right? What if education system shuts down? What do I do, right? So that's what I want to answer is as long as you have the internet in your hand, the whole internet is your teacher. Like, say, what I do is I spend a lot of my time on YouTube, and you search for anything that you're interested, right? So in your case, I think everybody at some point of time needs to learn, say, certain softwares which you will use in any kind of job you do. You will need, say, example, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word, or working with Google Sheets. So this is sort of a handy tool that, or you can even use it for your own person. Let's say you want to plan a trip. So you want to, and you want to plan an itinerary. So you would use some kind of software to, to plan everything. So I think you can go to YouTube, type in, I want to learn Microsoft Excel courses, right? And they will just give you, and Excel is such a handy tool that it will be useful in everybody's life, even if you don't use it for, in your current role, but at some point of time, everybody would need this kind of skills, and having this skill will be useful in terms of any kind of data entry, all the accounting, all the finance related industry. And if you get better at it, you can even become a data scientist, data analyst like me, because I started off with Excel, right? So not just that, just go to YouTube, and you can get so many, like, business idea, right? Say, I don't know what to do, like all this plantation crops. So all I do is I just spend my time on YouTube and just search for people who are sort of teaching. There's a lot of teaching going on the YouTube, right? There's lots of people who are making blogs and things like that. So there was this program on how pig farming is being cultivated in a very modern way in Manipur at the moment. And I didn't know this until I watched that video on YouTube, which is hosted by the Doordarshan of Imphal, right? And so people are doing lots of new things. So you can just go there rather than watching your TikTok viral videos. You can spend some time and really get out a quality content that exists in the internet right now. You could even, there's also lots of free courses online. So if you want to build up your public speaking, or you want to improve your soft skills, there's lots of courses online, and I don't think they're not very expensive these days, because everything on the internet is quite affordable. So you can find something like that. Or if you want to brush up your math skills, right? So there's a lot of guys who are teaching things you would have missed out in your high school, and you want to improve a little bit of some concepts that you think you lack. You can always go there and search for it, and I'm sure you'll find plenty.
Thank you, Mr. Daniel. And then our platform is exactly a kind of online training. So I think I am doing the right thing. And speaking of business, as my second question. So in our country, a lot of online business has emerged. So are these kind of business a smart business, or should we get involved and make money, or should we only focus on concrete things? Are online business safe? Yeah, in other words.
I think you should definitely go for online business, right? Because you need to, because it's, see, the benefit of an online business is you don't have to pay any rent for, say, if you want to open up a shop and tomorrow, you have to find a space, you have to find the furniture, you have to pay the rent, deposit and all. But online store, it's, if you know how to run it, so it's basically, that's it. But it needs some involvement to understand how that kind of platform works. So if you want to understand a little bit of web, how the whole HTML website, that kind of technology works. So I think that improves a lot. But as well as you need to understand the business model. So you should think for a gap. Like, you don't want to do something that's already been tried and tested, right? You don't want to build another Facebook, because you're just not going to be good at it as them. But you can start small. Say, for example, you really like cooking, right? Say you really like cooking and you enjoy cooking. So you don't have to start a restaurant, but you can start something like starting your own little blog, or you can open up your own YouTube channel and start posting your video. In the beginning, you will not be as good as the ones who are doing it. So if anybody has watched Raju Nong's that Foods of Manipur blog video, it's on YouTube. And sorry?
Yes, sir. We do what, sir?
Yeah, so see, that's a very good example, right? So he is creating something new that didn't exist, even if it does exist, but it wasn't as good as the one he is doing right now. And we all enjoy watching it, because, like, say I'm sitting here in London, but I want to feel connected to my hometown. Then I feel like watching something. And so my wife, the other day, we are trying to cook that Utiya Sangba thing, right? But we didn't know how to cook. So we found his video, and it was really good, because that solved our problem as well as it solved his problem, right? So imagine his whole team, I think there are like 4 or 5 of them. They are making money from YouTube just by traveling, having fun, but they're also getting that ad revenue from YouTube. So this is just a simple example, right? You guys can start small, as small as that. You don't even have to start making a video. You can write a blog, and you can maintain a blog post about cooking recipe. And if you get better at it, all advertisers, right? All the advertisers, say, be it Everest Masala or even Machal in Manipur, they would, if people are reading your blogs, then they will start to put ads on your websites, on your blog. So that way you can start earning money. So if you guys have some spare time, and if you're interested in e-commerce, Google how how the whole ad traffic, or how the ad thing works on Google, like how Google pays everybody for generating those ads. And this is something that you can start from now. And I don't know, you don't have to have a big website. You can just start writing blogs, or you can write something like Manipur. In Manipur, lots of foreigners want to come and travel, but they lack the guidance of like where to travel, how to travel. So you can start posting like images, pictures of really cool places, and you can write blogs like where to go, how to go, and and all the travel pictures. Or you could even think of starting like a travel company, right? There's not many in Manipur. So like many North Indians and Indian from the other states, they want to come and visit us, but they lack proper guidance. So you can start something like this, like posting your own video. If not, you can write blogs. And I think once you are into that mindset of understanding how you can make money out of the internet, there are many ways, but just Google, watch on YouTube, go on YouTube and see how you can make money from internet. I think that will be really, it will open up some certain doors in your mind and what you can do.
Thank you so much. They're like, it's worth listening and it really satisfies me. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, it's always a pleasure. Like I myself, I'm on the YouTube all the time just to get new ideas and what can I do, what else can I improve on. So, and and this gives me inspiration today to to pass you the same. I think you should spend more time on YouTube, not watching the you should watch all the viral videos and music and all, but also there's lots of educational and other informative stuff that people are posting, and you should definitely watch them.
Okay, we'll do that. Definitely.
Does
Anything
anybody
else?
have any more questions?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Sir, can you please tell us about studying in overseas? I actually want to study engineering in Canada. So, as sir is also in overseas, can you guide me through how to study in overseas and what is the staying and all that thing about staying in overseas and studying for higher studies?
Yeah, I mean, that depends on what you want to study, basically, what you want to get
Sir,
get
I
out
want to
of
study
it.
in engineering.
So yeah, that's a good prospect. So different countries have different ways to enter, to get into their system. So like, say for example, in the UK, it's different than what you can do. It's a different way than how it's done in the US or in Canada. So you have to basically write exams. I would suggest if anybody wants to study, it's good for prospects are higher if you study more technical courses than non-technical. So engineering, maths, science, medical, these are all very good fields to study abroad. But if you want to study, let's say, English, history, I don't think that's a good option because there's already plenty of candidates in their own nations. So, but yeah, you should narrow down where you want to go. And you should find out what's the way to get into that system. Like, for example, if you want to go to US and Canada, you need to write exams like the GRE, which is so you should start preparing for those. And if you want to go to countries like UK, Australia, I think your 12 standard grades are good enough to get you done. So yeah, I mean, you should look into the country that you want to go first and read what kind of things they require.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, Sir Daniel. It's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Ahmad Tariq, and I have a question, and I don't know if it is relevant to put in here, but sir, when you talk about education system, how will you differentiate the system, like the place you are living in, like London, and here in our state, Manipur, or our country, India?
Yeah,
like,
that's what
is more effective.
that's a good question. That's a good question, actually. And I've always talk this quite loud, that difference in the education system of because after going through both the systems of education and having worked here, what I found is what we study in India, be it Manipur, be it anywhere part of any state of India, it's basically, it's little outdated. It's good in a way that you learn a lot of things, but you don't really need to learn all that to do the things that you want to get done in the future, right? And we kind of overlearn a lot. Like, say for example, you don't need a master's degree in in engineering, or you don't, unless to work as a software developer, right? As a software engineer, all you need is you just need some computer skills. You don't even basically need an engineering degree to become a computer engineer, because you just need computer education. But what we see in India is we study, it's because it's not optimized, right? It's a very old way of teaching things. So we try to learn everything basically. And also, as kids as you, and in your, we don't get as much exposure of the different options available and actually the kind of skill sets is demanded by the real world job prospects, right? So we do, that's the thing we are lacking when we go through our schooling system, because we are just brought up in a way that, you know, at the end of this education we have to go into this private sector, either become a doctor, engineer, or you become a teacher or a professor. If not, then there's a general line in the middle which is sort of your, you can do so many things but you don't know what to do.
Yes.
So here people really enhances on your strengths, and people, like a lot of the people who are here are focuses on what they like. So be it somebody who likes writing, he can really focus on going to the writing line, and a lot is in the music line. There's a lot of musicians who grow up to become musician. And also you need to factor in the difference between here and in India, is because everybody gets paid quite well. But if you are a musician in India and you don't succeed, then chances are you're not going to make as much money as here, because here the living standard is quite high. So that's the thing. In short, we just overlearn a lot. So, and people really get discouraged when you don't get really good marks, and you feel like you're not good enough. But what we need to understand is the education system in India, it's a little overburdening. So you should think in a way that, what am I good at, right? I mean, there's no option for you to not undergoing that education system, but during that, focus on what you are good at and how you can use that skill to future in the future to build up or kind of work in the sector that you want to.
Yes, sir. Thank you. That was really a word message for me. Thank you, sir.
I would definitely stress on being coming out of your comfort zone. Like we tend to be very, if not introverted, but we are very shy and not very outspoken, right? And when you go into the job market and you start to compete with people, so just for example, in people who come to the education system and be in Delhi, or let's say the northeastern culture, right? They are very loud and they are very progressive, right? And so if you want to be thrown in among them, and if you don't speak out loud, you're just gonna fall behind. So that's something that we need to come out and of a comfort zone and raise your voices loud, ask questions, ask a lot of questions, as well as solve problems, right? And solving problems is a life skill that you can learn, not just college and school, but in your daily life, right? In your homes, in your friend circle, within your relatives. Be the one who can solve the problem. Everybody has lots of problems. It doesn't have to be educational. Just solve problems.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Well, speaking of which, kind of took me back to my memory lane. Daniel was in Portsmouth. I was in Sheffield. I never traveled to Portsmouth. He invited me. I'm so sorry, but I think he missed me a lot. So he would, take the pain to travel all the way to Sheffield. And we never spoke about this. When we were in those days, we never spoke about the education system. I mean, it didn't hit us yet because we were not in the real world, right? Yes, there are advantages of Indian education system. I wouldn't say that, definitely not, but from the practical perspectives, and I think the gentlemen here, regardless whether they studied abroad or not, because some of us here who are sharing this with you, we've been in the real world. So from the real world perspectives, I completely agree with that. And it's a shame that, Daniel and we never spoke about this. So yeah, I mean, if we were aware about the difference, and literally aware in the sense that if it was a topic that we would speak, over a couple of hours when we caught up, I think that would have made a difference to where we are now also. Maybe, Daniel, I'm not sure if we didn't realize the value back then, right? So that was a really good question. And yeah, I mean, it was quite informative. And as always, I've always learned from him every time I meet him. So I cannot welcome any more questions, but I would like Daniel to share anything else if he feels like. And you are so right, Daniel. They are shy. All of you guys are very shy. I know that. and we're not forcing you to overcome this thing overnight, overcome the one. But
Excuse me, sir. I
Yeah.
have a question. I have a question to Sir Daniel.
Who's this? Who's this?
And Dayananda.
Then I haven't finished. I'll
Oh.
finish.
Oh,
Yeah. Then you can ask. Okay. So Dayananda, you can definitely ask a question. Okay. Guys, learn how to, if you want to interrupt, learn how to interrupt. That's another part of personality development. Okay. So anyway, it's always great to learn from him, and it's always great to learn from you guys. And you gotta stop being shy, and always, if you have a question, just ask on the spot. Don't wait for others to start asking, and then okay, let people ask, and then only I'll ask. All right. Okay. Daniel, taking too much of your time. Dayananda, go shoot question.
okay, sir. Sir, I am Dayananda. Now I'm in the standard of 12th standard. I want to know more about the entrance exams in UK universities. Like, what should I need to take off if we are not expert? Like, suppose if we are not expert in English language, whether
See, that's a good thing about the UK education system is it doesn't have any entrance exams. You don't have to. There's no exams like IIT or anything. So what it looks at the whole you know, the whole life of somebody, what they have done. So of course your grades and your marks in your 12th standard is important as well as your 10th. But if, say, for guys who get admitted in, be it Oxford, Cambridge, that kind of big universities, right, you will see that all the ideal candidates, they would have done so much other than just studies. So they would have been somebody who has volunteered a lot, say worked with the African hungry kids, and they volunteered for a summer and did a lot of social work in Africa. So if two candidates have the same marks, same grades, but other one has done this kind of activity, right, and who has come out and did something extraordinary or contributed to the society, they would prefer that kind of candidate against another who probably has a slightly better marks but haven't done anything other than just studies. So they really focus on this whole personality development thing, right? So not just your exams, but other what. So have, say, somebody who has learned how to help the blind people, say, who goes and volunteers and work with, let's say, AIDS organizations, right? Or who has collected a lot of, who has managed to raise a lot of funds for a charity event, or somebody who would have done something, or run a marathon like 5 times in a year. So they focus on this kind of activity because it shows the real personality, the real the real positivity in that person. And it's not just academics who succeed in life, but also people who can make a positive change in the society, or who can come out of the comfort zone and do something more than just study. So this is the things that they look for. So if you want to get into a good university or good school, you should have good grades, but as well as you should have done some other extra things than just your studies.
Okay, thank you, sir. But what about IELTS exam?
There's no entrance exam at all.
He's
IELTS
talking
exam.
about IELTS.
I-
IELTS. You have to give that one.
That's IELTS is an English standard requirement that you will need to give for if you want to go to any English speaking nations like Australia, India, Australia, US, UK. So TOEFL for US. So yeah, but that's unavoidable. That's just speaking, writing, listening, and I think reading.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, but you can work on it. It will probably take some time for you to do, but if somebody is not very comfortable with the English, you can start watching English movies with subtitles, so that way you can better understand what they're talking and how you can comprehend that more, as well as talk to each other, because speaking is very important. And I think, yeah, so talk more with your friends, anybody. Anything else, guys? I think I have to drop off, Dinkle.
Yeah, I know. Thank you so much. And I'm pretty sure that they want to ask more questions, but you don't speak, you lose. You don't speak, you lose, right? So Dayananda very good on asking questions, and all of those guys as well. I don't see a lot of people asking questions, right? So yeah, thanks a lot, man. If you're, I know that you have to run off. I guess your lunchtime is almost over, or
Yeah, I'm still in office time, so yeah.
I mean, if you can stick around, you can pretty much stick around, and because you never know that we might need you at any point as well. If you're okay with that, because I'm pretty sure people might just gather the courage to ask questions, throw questions at you, right? They take some time, as you know. So if you're okay, that'll be fantastic. If you can just stick around for a little bit.
I can take one last question because I really have to go.
All right, okay, guys. So he has to go. It's his lunchtime. Anybody has any question? No pressure.
Hello, hi sir.
Robinson.
Hello sir. Hello, Daniel sir. Sir, I want to ask one thing. Law and order problem of London and our country. Difference between law and order and
yeah. So the basic difference here and in the UK and in India is here the police are very polite. They are very efficient, as well as they are very considerate, and there's no corruption. So you can expect the kind of fair judgment for everybody. So the same kind of treatment the Prime Minister gets, you will get the same kind of treatment as a citizen, which is probably not the same in places like ours, because we have that babu culture. Like if you are a minister or a secretary or an IS officer, you get different treatment from the police, whereas not the same for if you are a common man like us. So that's the basic difference that I find here and there.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Good evening, sir. Daniel, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Premchand, you're not audible. So can you please turn off your video and you can try like very fast, because I believe Mr. Daniel will be over.
Am I audible, miss?
Yes, you can try now. Be quick.
Sir Daniel, actually my question is, during this pandemic, our market is shut down. During this situation, how to survive in market?
Well, that's a really hard question to try to answer, because everybody is going to the same problem, and I'm afraid that's no other way getting around rather than spend time in developing yourself, learn something new, some skills. Doesn't have to be from the internet. You can learn how to make a table, a furniture, or plant some new or learn a new technique of farming. Because if you go back, the human civilization to 3,000 years ago, we didn't have any of that new technology, so people just survived, be it a pandemic or anything. So you have to think in that kind of caveman mentality and think what you can do. So I don't know, you can use the time to learn how to build a new furniture, and you can, once the pandemic comes, you can start opening your new shop, or you can learn to repair a new bike or repair cars. So when it opens up, you can start opening your own garage. Or you can learn public speaking, practice speaking publicly. And so when the thing opens up, you can be a, you can get paid to speak publicly, inspire people, or you can be a comedian, learn how to be funny. So yeah, there's a lot of things you can do, but unfortunately, about we just have to live through these tough times.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so I believe like no more questions will be allowed. Thank you, Mr. Daniel. Like thank you for giving us this opportunity.
Sophia, so okay, guys, so hang in there, especially if you want to get the most out of it. And once again, thank you so much, Daniel, all the way from London and during his lunch break. Really appreciate it, man.
Hi, Daniel. I'm just interrupting first that you might just leave, so I just wanted to say hi to Daniel. I guess like just
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I
It's
think
been
this is the
after-
second time. This is the second
Yeah.
time Siddhartha and Daniel, they are being guest speakers here.
Yeah,
Just the
so
second time.
So Daniel is a conjunction, which is like making us meet again in the football.
Yeah,
So that's why
sorry, I didn't know
just
you
wanted
were
to say hi.
here.
Yeah,
That's great.
Was-
Great to see you again. I
Yeah,
didn't know
same
you were
here.
here. Yeah.
I was like listening you from somewhere around say 6:20, I think so.
Yeah. I remember the last time. Yeah, I didn't know you were here. So yeah.
I'm just pretending to be one of the students. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Yeah, good to see you all. Enjoy your
Hey,
time
thank you.
here. All the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Sophia, yeah, so before you introduce Siddhartha, I'm not sure if Kenneth is around. I just wanted Kenneth to, give 2 minutes max. I don't know, you're busy, but Kenneth, here's the thing, man. Maybe the youngsters don't know about the value of time in the sense, not about us only, but people like Daniel, people like Siddhartha, who have taken out time. I mean, I'm not saying our time is not important, but we do this for our own community here, little community here. But people like Daniel and Siddhartha have taken out the time with the trust that they would be, that the youngsters here would want to learn, right? So if you could just share a couple of lines in terms of why they should pay attention really with the upcoming speech from Siddhant, it'll be really great. And after that, Sophia, you can introduce her Siddhanta and we can take it from there.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, first of all, yeah, sorry I came in a bit late. I was listening to Mr. Daniel speak, and it was really amazing, and including myself, when I was just listening to him, I could realize, something very important. I would like to reiterate back when Laishi asked a question to Mr. Daniel regarding what we should be doing, during this lockdown, about the online business, this and that, and there was one particular point that I really liked, how Mr. Daniel explained, like you go to YouTube and then you look for things there, right? So that was, something that really hit me, because this is what I have been doing all this while. And also, I realized that your true value, right? Your true value of yourself, right? So in this case, it'll be me, you will realize the true value of yourself. What can determine your true value is what you make out of it, guys and girls, I'm telling you. So it all depends on, like what you really want to do and how far you can go for it, right? So I really like that answer by Mr. Daniel, right? So anyway, so I just wanted to share that part. But yeah, and one more thing, guys, right? Even the next speaker who's here, Siddhant, right? You see, he's taking out his time. Mr. Daniel has also taken out his time. Everyone has a lot of work to do, right? Everyone here, we are all taking out the time to come here, maybe in spite of the things that we have to do. So, what's really important is for you to really understand, to really listen well to the speakers, taking out their time, right? it just not shows just respect, but you see, you're going to benefit something if you really listen to them, right? And please, guys and girls, don't mind me, but I'm going to tell you something here. Okay, when you were given the chance to ask questions, right? I didn't want to comment because those were questions, you know, and you see, you're not really listening well, right? I mean, what are the kind of questions that just came up? You know, it just made me feel like question. I mean, I am not disrespecting anybody here, but I mean, I just feel like there's a disconnect, you know, like between the speaker and the listener here. I understand that you guys have your questions, you want to get things sorted out, but you know, there are things, you know, like there are things I felt which are really irrelevant, you know, like I mean, I don't want to pinpoint and tell or reiterate back the questions, but there's a way of asking questions, right? But all this, right, confusion and this you know, the way we put up our questions across, why things are going haywire is because I think, first of all, we are not listening well. You know, if we have the capability, if we have the skill to listen things well, right, you might as well come up with questions that can really relate, you know, like to, I didn't know context to that, right? So it's not about me pointing out mistake, or, you know, like pointing my finger to anyone directly, but you know, it is so important, right, to have our listening skills well, because I'm pretty sure Mr. Daniel, obviously, like, question, ma'am, though he will answer you back, because yeah, I mean, there's a question asked, so he wants to answer, but maybe, you know, if in the real world, if you started asking some irrelevant questions, right, there is no second chance, there's no time for your interviewer or the resourceful person to have the need to entertain you, you know, by giving you his time or her time, right? So this is what I wanted to basically share. But guys and girls, don't get discouraged, you know, for me telling the truth, because sometimes, you know, we just have to accept the truth and how we are, right? And that is also how you're going to understand, you know, like where we are all, you know, like lagging behind, right? So let's try to understand, let's try to listen well, okay? And, you know, maybe we can ask questions, you know, like that can be really relevant. For example, okay, I'm going to cut this short, right? I mean, it's okay to ask questions, but then, you know, like asking questions, you know, like that people might think, you know, like Moigi institution, you know, like they've been doing all this, but how can this type of question come up from their institute? You know, like they might have that kind of feeling, right? And that is going to put yourself down, that is going to put us down, right? So this is what I want to basically tell you all, right, before we all commence, you know, and listen to Siddhant speak, right? So yeah, guys, that's all from my end, and I'll be here till the end to listen to Siddhant and Dinkle. Yeah, thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, sir. That was Mr. Kenneth Rajkumar. He is specialized in hospitality sector, and he has more than 15 years of experience abroad. And right now, he's a co-founder of RAD Institute, and like he has a business apart from being a co-founder. And thank you very much, Mr. Kenneth. And we have Mr. Siddhant over here. He is a CTO and co-founder of a global organization, myglitch.com. Sir, you can take over. Like on today, we have students mainly, like they have just passed out their 12 standard, and some of them like they are mainly in graduation. So like it's a mix of both, sir.
Thank you, Sophia. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, same, sir.
So I guess like the session should not be boring. That's what I want to all of you
Sure,
guys.
sir. Yeah, whatever, sir.
So I hope I'll try to entertain you guys till then. Even though I'm not an entertainer, but still I'll try to entertain you guys. So the format, I'll just like Dinkle, with your permission, can I change the format into a little bit different scenario so I can have an interaction?
Sure. That'll be great. That'll be great. And let's get them interacting.
Okay, so the session won't be started with me. I'll just like start with a Q&A straight away, and I'll try to elaborate as much as I can in the topic. And I'll just like start with few addition stuff from previous questions that I said stood to Daniel. Maybe two questions which I would like to also ask you guys. After that, you guys can start asking questions to me. Then we'll just go with an interactive session rather than me. Because like I know you guys are really happy that it's locked down. Let's be realistic. I'm also too happy that I don't need to go to office. Okay. And there are no classroom. Okay. There are no colleges. So you can sleep, eat, play your PUBG or whatever you like. Okay. And it's kind of like the Instagram reel are kind of really flaring right now. So a lot of get caught for Instagram reel. It's kind of trending right now. I think so. So it's really a great time right now. So first, I'll start off with that that online thing. That question, like even that Janet had repeated. From that perspective, why I would just want to start from there because like that's one of my forte, or I'm from a technological background. I'll start with that. So if you say like what to do in this kind of time, or I'll just collaborate both the stuff. The last question which was asked to Daniel, and the first question I think which I heard was like about e-commerce and what should we be doing right now in the lockdown because there are no opportunities, right? So my question again to you guys will be right straight away. Was there any opportunity for you guys before the lockdown? Was there any real opportunities for you guys before the lockdown? Say,
No, sir.
for example, there was no lockdown, so where there will be kind of like a lot of opportunity for you guys to start working or something for your career. Anyone can just answer to it.
Sir, in my opinion, I don't have any opportunity before the lockdown.
Yeah, that's very realistic. Yeah, so I'm like I'm from the same place. Okay, it's Manipur, and when you come out from Manipur, people really don't care whether you're from Manipur, from Nagaland, from Mizoram. Okay, I've been really rude right now. People call us chinky. Okay, let's be happy about that. Some people, so that's kind of a racial slur that people fling to us. So I'm not going to that, but it's kind of that we are in a place where opportunities are less from the start. For government jobs, you need to go around here and there. You need to write a lot of exams and all, and yet you won't be satisfied with results. If you're satisfied with results, you're getting the job. So being realistic is one of the practical way of like handling life, rather than being hypothetical. That you guys picking me or Daniel or anyone might be any top sorts, will change your life. There's nothing called shortcuts in life. So e-commerce, like right now, internet is kind of trending. It's kind of top notch right now with you guys all coming to conference platform and
Sorry to cut between, but your voices like it glitches. Like it has been off about not 1 second, but like 0.1 second. Like it has been on and off. We can hear
Okay.
you properly, but it's glitching.
Okay. So okay, do let me know like if the glitches happen again. Okay.
Okay, sure, sir.
Right now it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine now.
Okay. So what I was trying to say was like exploring the internet is one of the best possibilities to do in this situation. If I just need to give an example right now, during this lockdown, even though I'm not telling that I've achieved a lot, but I have done roughly around 4 to 5 certifications online already during this lockdown. So it's pretty cheap, as Daniel told before. Okay, and there are a lot of YouTube channels which you can follow. You just need to Google it, and I'll just give you a hint which YouTube channel you should following. I won't be telling any specific channel, but look for the views, number of views which are there, okay, the good feedbacks which are there. Follow that kind of channels and try to learn yourself, because self-learning is one of the best things you guys can start with. Because for I don't know, the culture of a state is kind of a tuition culture. Until and unless someone teaches you, write it down for you, okay, read it out loud for you. Till that point, you guys won't considering it very serious, right? About education system. Education system is something which has been there for time. So it will take time to change any of the syllabus and all, but still that's a foundation. Okay, so whatever you learn right now, okay, irrespective of which country it is, you try to acquire the knowledge, not the mark. Okay, that I want to point out. Passing an exam is not that's not a tough thing to do, but understanding the concept you guys are studying, be helping you in the long run. So that's how I would like to start with you guys. And the second question, okay, it's more of like into e-commerce and all. Yeah, it's a big thing. So what you can do is like you don't need to even like a blog. You have I guess like all of you guys have an Instagram or Facebook blog. It's basically a blog. Okay, have a Facebook profile and Instagram profile. So you can start selling from there. Ideas, your drawing, your paintings, songs, whatever whatever is there for you guys. So you can start selling from there. So first thing is that people will criticize. Okay, let's be realistic. People will criticize. Oktaba, Rasikamba. There are a few of the terms that people usually tell, right? So let them tell whatever they like to. But if you're focused on that what save, there's a few of the things that you need to know here. Just like once you have gone through, once you become successful, people will be asking you, how did you do it? Right. At that point of time, you guys will be the person who will be laughing rather than they laughing at you. So you need to take the feedback, whatever negative or positive, in a very positive, or constructive way, rather than demotivating yourself. Second thing, it's not about just like how you're going to survive in. But if your skill sets are really good, okay, might be if you're really good in writing English, might be constructing, we usually call it content writing. There are different type of content writing, which is like graphic writing, graphic content there. Those people, creative writers, write, crispy lines. Okay, the tech lines or might something which you guys see on memes, right? That memes that you guys see all the time. Just scroll and see and feel funny about it. But that kind of tech line, if you can write, then you guys are in demand. So you can have that skill set. So you need to try to acquire what are the skill set that you have, and you try to understand yourself first of all. Before asking question to anyone, you try asking question to yourself. Who am I? What am I doing over here? Okay. Why am I still sitting like this? Why am I not like others? What do I need to do for myself? And what are the difference that I have compared with people? Okay. So you need to first understand yourself. After that, only you can come to what you want, whether you want to exposure level, universities like you guys were asking a lot of questions on that. But at the end, if you don't have a particular skill set, then it will be sufficient enough for you guys, even though you guys are very fluent with English or any other languages. So this is the first thing I would like to share with you guys. So be open. Okay, you guys are feeling very adapt, asking question in English. You can ask them. Okay, question is important. Language is like secondary right now. You can ask the questions which you guys like to ask, and I'll take questions from there, and I'll try to explain.
Yeah, so just to cut in between, before Siddhanta entered, that's exactly what I was trying to say. Every question matters, and language is the last thing you need to worry about. Right? It's more of your skill sets that he was just talking about. So guys, I know it's a multilingual environment, but you can ask your question in Maitelon, Tangkhul, Hindi, it doesn't matter. He will respond back in English, but please feel free to ask questions. Don't be afraid. Nobody's going to shoot you in the head just because you asked a question, right? Do it. Take this opportunity.
Yeah, but again, this disclaimer, I don't know all the dialects and all. Yeah, right now, but I'll try to answer that. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. If they ask you in Tangkhul, somebody will translate a question, for example. But then you guys should ask question, man. He's talking sense right now. he doesn't have all the time in the world as well, right? So guys, please ask questions.
And one thing before you start asking questions, there are no stupid questions. So feel free to ask. It's rather to be stupid for one time rather than stupid for your whole life. So it's an online class. I think
Sir, my name is Amor Tari, and I'm from Manipur. So I have a question, and if I don't know if it is relevant, but sir, I heard that you are running a global business. So, what kind of advice would you give us to youngsters like us to run business globally and not only domestically, like in our state or in our country?
Okay, business is running a business global is same as like running a shop at home. But difference is that have a lot of clients to gather from region. It's same like you need to start learning this thing from the grassroots level. If I need to simplify for you guys, is like from if I don't mind you asking where are you from, could you just pinpoint a location? Might be Xinjiang, might be somewhere.
Sir, actually, I'm Tangku, and I'm currently studying at Impal Manipur.
Okay, that's fine. Like, I'm just asking for the sake, just to simplify the question for you guys. So you're in Manipur, right? So the first thing what you guys need to do is like, if you want to understand the global business, it's rather not about, because like before there was a difference called, local one and the remote marketing, whatever you call marketing and all. But since the internet came and people are all online, so whatever if people are eating KFC over there and say I'm right now in Mumbai, so if you're eating KFC in Mumbai, you also like to have a KFC of then in fact, right? In Manipur, you like to have that. Same thing, if you are in start a service in first try to gather Manipuri people first of all, just to test out the market, just to understand the people reaction to the product or the service you have. Once you understand, try to expand to next thing, okay, which might be Sekmai, okay, which is near, might be to this side, might be on this side, you can expand. So you can start jumping others. So because like if you try to open from Matripuki to say for example Tamilong, okay, distance is too far. So you need to have a lot of people to work for you as a team. You need to have the budget need to increase because of transportation. And since you're running a business, you don't want to transportation. That's the thing, which is like the mindset. Again, you also need to use the transportation. It's again the vehicle thing. So the what we call is the overhead cost will be increased. Overhead, I'll just simplify. The money which you spend on running the business will increase. So first is to make sure that the business is proper. Okay. And then once the business is proper, you understand the business thoroughly, then you try expanding it. So once you start expanding it, then you need to change the touch and feel, okay, depending on the location, your location. So like you see a lot of like advertisement and thing, which is for Jasiman, I guess like for Tata and all. So you can see English is written over there, and again Manipuri will be, so the people will understand, right? So if you go to Tamilong, then again you need to change little bit, tweak with the words and the dialect they have, okay? And if possible, just adapt with the environment. So that's the first step you need to do. Going global will take a lot of time, effort. Doesn't mean that you can't do it, but first thing you need to understand about business is that if you're good at something, then you definitely. So it's not about how you do it. So there will be a lot of failures, but you need to take failures as an experience rather than taking as a demotivating factor, guys, to just stop it there. Whenever you guys feel that you guys are doing something, compare, study the market. Say, for example, you are what kind of business that you like to do?
Sir, when I become someone, I want to run a hotel.
Okay, hotel. So, so hotel is kind of a tourism sector. Okay, so it's a service industry. So if you open a hotel over there in Tripoli, right? Then once you open a hotel, then after that, if you want to open in different location, you need to just bring. There are two different things that you need to. It's like the brand value which you need to create, okay, and you need to compare because like there are different hotels in Manipur. Like the one which is very popular, the Dr. W's classic hotel, right?
Yes, sir.
And Yafabas and all are there. So you need to understand their pricing. What are the facilities they give on what pricing, okay? And what are the qualities of their staff, and how do you need to train the staff, from where you need to get the staff. Okay, who will be your manager? You cannot just choose a manager because you like somebody. Okay, it's like he's my brother or he's my girlfriend or she's my girlfriend. Okay, you cannot just make that person your handle the business. So you need to take decision business according business rather than taking on emotional level. So your emotional quotient EQ should be higher rather than the emotional attachment. So that's one of the prerequisite for being a club. Yeah, again, you need to do a lot of exploration.
Sir.
Networking is one of the best ways. So you need to network. So again, the last thing which I would like to say is like, don't fear for unexpected. Just be courageous. Take proper actions. What we call this is called calculated risks. And don't try luck. Okay, don't try luck. Trying luck is like you go for hoaxy. Okay, it's not a good thing. Don't try luck, but study the market which you want to enter, and then you just step into the market. So that's how you expand your business and grow. So first, try to focus on starting a business, and then I guess like you learn a lot while doing your stuff your own way, in your own course of time. That will help you a lot. Try to understand every details that. Can Sophia, am I still breaking? Is my is breaking up?
Sir, it is causing a bit of glitches, but we can understand it.
Okay. So what I was trying to say is like, try to create a milestone, target, and according to it. That's how you can achieve.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, I'm waiting for next question.
Siddharth, they're gonna take a lot of time asking question, but I have a question on behalf of everybody. Now, this is the problem, right? The problem, as you and I know both, you did your MBA, I did my MBA. we know the pros and cons of doing MBA. You have your double degree over there. I did all my stuff in terms of business and all that. But here's the thing, what are your thoughts? I've shared my thoughts with them when it comes to entrepreneurship and business management skills. What are your thoughts when it really boils down to what's really important if you want to be successful as a businessman? From your perspective, from your wealth of experience you've had in various organizations and whatever you're doing right now, if you have to sum it up all in a very simple way so that the youngsters will understand, right? Maybe using layman terms or whatever, right? Because a lot of youngsters are being misled. Think either some people are making entrepreneurship too simple, and some people are making it too complicated. So that silver lining wherein the facts are there, right? So if you want to be an entrepreneur, what do you think that they should start working on, like today, tonight? So that's what I would like you to share.
So I'll just like first sum up in really three important points first, and then I'll try to elaborate it, expanding with a few more additions on that. So the first thing is knowledge, which is very required. I'm not talking about degrees or anything. Knowledge, which I was just sharing with the guy before. So knowledge is very important. So first you need to acquire knowledge. Second thing is like the experience. you need to have experience. Experience doesn't mean that you need to and work with someone, but you need to experience, you need to feel. For example, if you want to start a hotel, if instead of you putting your own money and start a hotel, it's better to go and start and work, start working for someone who is already running a hotel, right? Instead of wasting your own money, you can learn from there, right? So that's how you can do. So experience is required. So relevant experience, not that want to go for an hospitality industry and you're getting an IT exposure, then it's not relevant. So you need to get a relevant experience. And third thing is patience. Okay, these are the three key factors which will define whether you are a successful person, or a successful entrepreneur, or whether you're a successful businessman. So these are the three key factors which will define a person. Could be in any scenario. But coming to entrepreneurship, it's a very vague thing which is there. It was like taking up some other business idea and starting a shop again with the same brand name. It doesn't count as an entrepreneurship. First of all, it should be unique. It should be solving a problem in the real time or in the market or in the society. So when you say entrepreneurship, there are different ways, different type of technologicals are there, educations are there, okay, even social entrepreneurs are there. Okay, so there are a lot of entrepreneurships branches which we can explore. But the key factor over here, entrepreneurship is like the originality. It's about in a very simplified way, if you do something which is already there in the market, okay, but if you do with your own touch, then you are entrepreneur. But if you copy the same thing and paste it, like Control C and Control V, then you're just a businessman. So that's the silver lining according to me. So different people will have different opinion on this topic, because like it's a very debated topic every time. But having an originality is much more important than doing something. And again, when do we have an original idea or original passion is when you are much in depth into that, right? If you like something so much and you want to accept that, then you become passionate. So if you're not passionate about it, then your idea won't succeed. So there are a lot of factors. If I again, if I need to say on talking about entrepreneurship, then it's a huge topic. Usually we study for around years, and it doesn't suffice time. So exploration is one thing you guys can do. No, instead of watching some, I know that entertainment is required in life. Okay, and I know skit and all which is coming up tubes and all. It's required to ease the mind, but try to find the channels or the source which are very relevant to the topic, business and all, so that it will be much more easier for you to attend. Because like attending a classroom, reading a book is very boring, but if you watch a movie, you can learn a lot, right? So watching, it's a all thing. Wolf of Wall Street is one thing you can watch as a start. It teaches you a lot of things. Okay, so different topics, different thing you can watch. Even like there is like a so-called Shark Tank, okay, which is very popular, and it is like Dragon something. So there are a lot of different business-oriented TV shows which you guys can see, learn how people go face their business, how they make their ideas. That's how you should do. But the thing which you guys should do is like you need to have a roadmap. This is like you need to first come up with the idea, study what you want to do, make a prototype, test it out in the market, and then you need to start implementing, and then the process will continue with the same thing. It will be huge. Again, there are a lot of things called product lifecycle, market lifecycle, and a lot of stuff, which will again will be really relevant on this like session right now. So I'll just like I guess like you guys are a little going over the hat. I can see from few of the faces on the cam. So I'll come to a topic right now, which will be very much interesting for you. So it's related to money and you can make quick bucks, okay? As well as like you can learn. So it's called what I guess like Daniel also said, learning, earning from online. Online, I guess like everybody must have at least like searched one how to make money online. I think so. Most of them must have already done it. If not, try to search it. So there is a topic called monetization. Okay. So usually with this monetization, the YouTube channels, the websites and all, they earn money. So it basically for number of people you bring, call it traffic. Example, in your YouTube channel, if you have say around 1,000 views, then probably you might earn around $1, okay, which will be relevant to around something to 70 to 75 rupees depending on the exchange rate. So that's how you need to do that. You first need to, because like approving an account will get paid to you. It's through their own product called AdSense. So you need to first have a Google account, and from there you need to start making a website or channel, and then from there, once you make the channel, then you can apply for this Google AdSense, and then you can start making money. Recently, no, I guess like Facebook is also going to start monetization, and including I guess like Instagram and a lot of stuff. Even LinkedIn, they're going to start monetizing on the content. So this is one of the topic that you can start. So in a month, say, just an example, if you make one of the most lame, video blog, one of the most lame, okay, why they give Manipuri Paktaba, okay, just to make to simplify, why Paktaba video the Pakte you guys started sharing, then it goes viral, right? Right, they become trending, right? So at the end, whether you guys think that you guys are kind of like sidaba, like that's what you call, like you're just criticizing them and making fun of them. At the end, those people, the content creator who make the Paktaba video, okay, they end up making a lot of money. Okay, so content should be something which you guys can create. So in free times, like I see a lot of mukbang videos. Okay, yesterday I saw one girl eating half a kg of shark. I was like, how can she eat, right? So a lot of people are doing a lot of nonsense in our own perspective, but if you look from the creativity perspective, they are doing something which is called out of the box thinking. Okay, it's called out of the box thinking. So they are doing a niche thing that nobody had done. Well, I guess like none of you will try to eat, one full 1 half kg of that jongchak. It will make your stomach go gaga over there all the whole night, right? So she started doing it. People like to see the reaction what she makes. So the video goes viral. So there are a lot of videos which goes viral. Okay. And if they have put some monetization over there, it's not only Google, there are a lot of monetization. Okay? They might be earning a lot of money. So you might be, sharing on your WhatsApp, making on the status, sige pakta with the second ware and all and all and all. But the end, he's the winner or she's the winner. Okay. You guys might be thinking that you guys are trolling that person, but that's called how you make a viral video. The source or the recipe for making a viral video is making things happen rather than thinking of the consequences, what people might think of you. Right. I don't want to take any name. I'll take one name. Because like if I take his name also, he won't care. It's because I know Dinkel's recording. He might put in some platform, and then some people might be doing gaga. But I'll take one name. I guess like you might heard about Moramba. Moramba, right? He makes all nuisance video. Okay. So he makes video, right? He makes a lot of videos. So he's one of my good friend. Okay, he's one of my best friend. So what he does is like he makes video, okay, and he has his own job. Okay, he has a very good job. You guys will be very much surprised that he has a good position in one of the. I won't be telling it because he's going to be really getting mad at me. So I won't be telling that. So he has a good job. Apart from that, his passion from the starting was making videos and then all the skits and all. So he done that. So he has like, a few more teams of, he was on Likey, I think. So he made money, okay? On an average, his teammate, one person makes roughly around 20 to 30,000 per month. One person, okay? So that's a power of creativity. Okay, he is no, he's creating a lot of content. People troll, but he doesn't care, right? Because he's focused on what he wants. So like that, it's not about making a video, making it viral, but it's about making it happen. So if you keep on thinking like, should I write an exam or not? Should I join this video session or not? Then if you don't join the video session, then you might not do something, but you won't be gaining anything at all, right? So if you don't write the exam, then you won't be passing. If you write the exam, might be the teachers or the examiners very good mood, then he or she might just pass you, and you might be lucky, right? But luck will come when you try out. Don't expect any luck to come sitting, farming the chair, okay, and just thinking that things will happen. You need to toughen yourself up, and being realistic is one of the best things you. So I started sharing the topic, so I guess you guys can continue whatever topic you want to. And one most important thing over here is called every time I speak, it's called branding. Or usually right now we call also image management and all. But people should know you. Say if there are like a lot of Dayanandas or a lot of artists or a lot of Luckies and all, but in your group, if you say the name, then it should just pinpoint that it should be him or her. So that's how the branding is done. So you should have a good brand presence. Whether good or bad doesn't matter, okay? So first is like you should be known, but don't do stupid things, okay? Because I just said so. It's a disclaimer, okay? And don't tell that it's because of the session that you all end up doing all stupid things. So I'm just giving you an example. So try it out, okay? And then you guys can do things. But if you just sit idle and then think that, bro, I'm going to start with entrepreneurship. After tomorrow, I'm going to start entrepreneurship. Might be you might end up not getting a job anywhere else. At the end, I don't know. Okay. So even like farming is very a hot thing right now. Okay, a lot of youth and youngsters are leaving the IT jobs and bad jobs farming. I just came across day before yesterday. A lady she just left a good job from Singapore. She returned back and she is doing apple farming in Ukraine. Okay, so the expectation that you have with yourself is something which is going to define your goal and ultimately is going to define you, rather than what I'm trying to say is like, don't listen to me, don't listen to Dingle. Try to listen to your own thought process and your own heart where you want to go. Because like sometimes if I say that IT is a very lucrative job, okay, it's the best paid job, okay, I'm telling you very honestly. But if you all live your thing which you have, which are good at, and you again say, sir, say IT, then if you go there, then you're diverting your topic. No, your focus is like kind of gone, so it's kind of defocused. It's like we're running here, something like the most relatable example which I can see is like running from grocery to grocery to buy item in the lockdown condition. Right, one will be closed again. You need to here and there run around here. Police will be behind you. The siren will be on. You need to run here and there. You don't know where you're going. You know that you want to get something, but you don't know from where to get it. But at least like have a plan and start planning out and start doing it rather than running, behind people's dream. Because it was my dream to do something like this. So it was Dinkel's dream, so he did it. It was Daniel's dream, so he did it in a different way. So you should dream, but don't try to say that Dinkel did this way, so you're gonna same way. It's not gonna be possible because Dinkel, you, Sophia, and all are all different persons, right? In a simple manner, the basic, we call curry of Manipur, which is called kang soy, right? Soup one, right? I can say that I guess like there are roughly around, I don't know, might be around 23 participants right now. So not all 23 participants will be eating kanso in the same manner, and they won't be liking the same kanso, right? So everybody's taste is different. So try to make your own self, a unique self, be original. So that's how you start it.
Hi, Sudan sir. Good evening. Nice to meet you. My name is Deshri, and I would like to ask a question. So my question is backtracking to our entrepreneurship topic. So in my life, I haven't met any female entrepreneur, and I'm quite sure that you have met female entrepreneur. So what is the quality that you admire to those women, and or the quality that you can learn from such women?
Okay, so if you come to the topic of entrepreneurship, there is no gender bias in this topic. Okay, so but yeah, I have met a lot of female entrepreneurs, and I do have a lot of friends who are running their own businesses right now in Imphal as well as different locations. So I'll just because from the starting, I want to clarify one thing. I'm not gender biased. So I'll be giving you a neutral answer, guys. So the best thing which I see on them is the passion to do something. It's like it's a baby, okay? For a mother, it's like to take care of the child, to bring them up or brought them up in a very good environment, to give them a good education, to give them a quality moral, okay? To dress them nice and all. So this is the same passion which I see in the face and eyes of every entrepreneurship, including Dinkel. So passion is what defines and what motivates everyone, because like we might be thinking like, I'm doing on the IT technology side. So when I meet a person, one of my friend, she is right now running a business in real estate. Okay. We thought that real estate are for guys, and she is owning a business of real estate. Okay. So what drives it is because her passion for the real estate industry that made her start a business and own a business. So that's what for you or for anyone to become an entrepreneur, it's a passion which is required, and passion doesn't come from copying. That's what I started from saying previously. The passion it's not started from the fire didn't start from you. It started from somewhere, and you just took a little bit of flame and you thought that you are an entrepreneur, right? Or the master of that idea. It's not like that. The flame should come from within. So if the flame is coming from within, then it becomes bigger and bigger, and people start recognizing you. And one of the advantages of being a female entrepreneur is that it's again a gender bias thing, but female entrepreneurs get a lot of attention than male entrepreneurs in the market and in the magazines. They look pretty and all things. So the paparazzi or photographers, or they want to highlight and empowerment and a lot of things are there in the states. So, and there are a lot of subsidies and government plans are there, policies to be precise, which gives advantage for the entrepreneurs more than the male entrepreneurs. So these are a few of the things which I feel jealous of, at the same time which I kind of inspired from them, and inspiration from.
Okay, great to know. Thank you.
Sir, can I ask one question?
Sure.
My name is Rin Shim, and like we're on the topic, since sometimes we might lose patient, right? So at those time, how can we stay motivated or how can we stay inspired? Like at the time when we lost patient.
Okay, so the question which you have is like, if you have patients and then you lost the patient, how you gonna find the patients, right?
Yeah.
Something like you lost the key, how you gonna find the key again, right? So
Yeah, something like that.
something like that. So patience is just a mindset. Okay, it's just a mindset. Okay. So your mind, you need to start controlling your mind. So controlling your mind is a very difficult task. Just like we all are human and we try to do stupid things. And I'd like to do all foolish things. Even though I might be speaking a lot of intellectual things, but in the free times I like to just play games and then roam around. Okay. So people have different characters, that personalities that they have, they need to get focused on. So if you lose patience, it's like you need to just understand why. The question which is like you need to ask yourself is like, why I'm losing patience. If you get this answer, then your patience will be coming back to you. But at the first place, you should not be losing patience, because losing patience is what defines you, that you are not cool enough. A person was like, people will be saying, right? So every time she lost a temper, every time he loses his temper, it's kind of what had that and all, right? So there are a lot of guys which are very good at it, but they are very dangerous. Right? They listen patiently, they try to understand, they digest the information which they get, conversation and every environment, and they try to process the information. So the best way of getting a patience is try to process the information rather than just trying to get out the result from there. Say, for example, some people say that you're not good for nothing. Okay, your qualification doesn't match. So might be in an interview or somewhere you might have heard it, or they might be saying that no, you is very far. Then how you going to just come to the office? I had come to office, right? So I want to give an interview, but they're just giving me that. So I get frustrated. From there, the patients just go poof, right? So what to do that? Then from there, okay, when they ask question, try to analyze the person which is asking question to you, and try to understand that those persons which are asking that kind of silly, stupid questions are not the right person that you want to work with. Because if you start working with those kind of people who are asking that kind of stupid questions, then career will. And if you have a friend circle or your own circle which are asking this kind of stupid questions, then definitely the group might be very fun, but they won't be having a very prosperous life. So in some manner. So in short, it's about taking things slowly, understanding it. But yeah, there are exceptional cases that you need to lose patience, and losing patience sometimes helps you rather than being, patiently waiting for something. Are still confused? I think if face is kind of confusing to me. Are you confused or?
No, sir. I can get a little.
Okay,
I
so
can
I'll just elaborate more in a simplified manner. Patience is something which we won't be seeing it, something like love, something like friendship. Okay, so if you think that you lose a friendship, that means that it's from the heart that you thought that he's not my friend or she's not my friend, right? The moment you think that way, then you will be losing patience. So patience is somewhat similar to that kind of feelings that you have to someone. So you lose patience to a person, right? To a specific person. It's like you lose patience on me, you lose patience to a friend, you lose patience to the whole people of Manipur. But there are person to persons, right? So it's kind of redirecting. So depends, you have an audience where you get frustrated, patients get lost, right? So you need to understand, if you like, if you get frustrated, how you need to understand that, do you want to show them that kind of frustration? Does it hurt me getting frustration? Okay, rather me just sitting and then watching some YouTube videos or listening to some music must be much more productive rather than just going and losing patience, right? But the main thing is like if you have a focus in what you have to do, then patience will be there all the time. So if you are passionate about something, your patience will be with you all the time, every time, even people are poking you left and right. So you should be passionate enough. If I just need to explain you guys in a term which you guys will be understanding, it's like, say, if you guys have someone that you like, but your family doesn't approve of, right? Or your friend circle might doesn't approve them. But if you're very passionate about them, then you keep on pursuing and showing them the good side of that person, that he or she is good on this, right? So that's the passion that you need to have, or the aim that you have in life. Does it simplify you quick?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, guys, speaking of patience, right? I can see that some outsiders are still here and most of our trainees are here. If you can't even bear 5 hours, it's not even 5 hours. If you can't even bear 5 hours of informative session with people who are there to give you like a forecast of what future could be like, people who could show you more than Google or YouTube. If you can't do that, then the bad news is, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen to your lives because we didn't have this. We didn't have this in our time. Okay, so I really think the bunch of people here who've been sticking around, because that only tells your seriousness. Because I don't know, tomorrow Siddhanta might want to hire one of you. Tomorrow I might want to hire one of you. I'm not saying that you're not going to get a job or anything like that, but then we might just want to hire you, man. So this like all these little things, right, matters a lot, right? So congratulations to all of those guys. Speaking of patience, hi Nico, and I thank Siddhanta for mentioning a few things like personal brand built about why it's important to build our own brand, which is something I almost mention every single day. And here's the thing, whenever I invite him, I never tell him what the session is about. Like I just ask him, mate, can you join? And he's like, okay, what time? Then he'll join. You know what I mean? So don't think like, just another guy speaking, just like that. You know what I mean, right? First of all, the content was original. Like he said, he talked about original content. The content was original. There was no preparation behind this session. Okay. And also there was no judgment, right? Whether you ask questions, whether you answered, it didn't matter to us. All we wanted to do was share a bit of what we knew. Okay. So that was good. That was good. And I really thank him for sharing the importance of building that personal brand, right? It's not just about your product services. It's about who you are. Who's the owner of the product? Who's the owner of the service? What kind of values he reflects on that service or the product or the company? That's what matters, right? So really, guys, it was really great. If you have any more questions for him, you can ask him tomorrow again if he is free. I hope he doesn't say anything, but you know, this is what I kind of that he's going to be available tomorrow as well, maybe different time slot. But then, guys, thank you so much, and thank you, Siddhanta. And before we leave, right, Sana is the only one left who doesn't belong to Manipur, and I don't think Sana. I think probably you might have felt a little bit, you know, shy and all that. It's fine. It's fine. It's okay. Siddhanta. So Sana is actually, she is one of our very respected aviation trainers' niece, who happens to look for some sort of guidance in terms of career, in terms of soft skills. She's from Delhi and she just finished her +2. So Sana, you can ask me all the questions you want in your life next time we meet, but you could ask some questions, whatever questions you want to ask related to career, Sir Siddhanta, if you want to ask.
Sir, actually, most of my doubts have been cleared already. And I just had one question that was like for startups mainly, if we want to start up a company or business, so what are the basic values that we need to have in mind? Like, yeah. Of course, there is
Very,
money and everything. Like
very
for the
beautiful
values.
question. Very beautiful question. I wish I could answer that, but I will not. Okay. I will let Siddhartha do it. It's a question he would love to answer. Yeah, Siddhartha, please help her out.
Yes, Sana. So it's really one of the trending question if you did a startup. Okay, so I've consulted a lot of companies in different levels. So what I feel is like not about what are the values that the companies need to carry. So it depends on industry, the sector, the location, the geolocation which you are in, and the people you are, the team which you have. It's like for me, the team which I have is very agile, to be precise, and we manage everything. Different tools that we have. For example, Jira, we use Slack, Trello, okay, and a lot of project management tool and team management, team communication tools, just to simplify the whole process. So even like even the attendance and everything is all automated. So that's how we try to survive. But it's if you want to build a good company or a good startup, the core value should be that you should have something which is kind of original, which I talk every time. If you are doing an e-commerce, it should be an original e-commerce company, not something which you can copy everything from Amazon, because why take the headache of creating something which is already there? Take all the models from Amazon. Okay, you add something which is not there in Amazon. Okay, so that can be done, right? So if like, if there is a hospitality, for example, aviation industries are there. So there are a lot of aviation training sectors are there. So instead of you building something from the scratch, try to study them, try to make a case study from them, okay, and try to pinpoint why those specific institutions or those companies are successful, okay, and why they are, and why some of them are not successful. Try to pinpoint that out and try to add those questions as are your core values rather than you trying to find out. That's one way of doing it. Second way of doing is you have an original thing with you, which you don't want to share, right? Because like people might be saying that, it might be stupid that you have something original. Like, a lot of people say to me, I have been listening for my whole life, still I listen to them. But again, it's about how you take it. If you have something which you think it's original and which is something new in the market, okay. For example, we are building a platform, okay, which is not there in the market. Okay, platform which we are having right now, it's not there in the market. Okay, there is no competitor in the market. Okay, so it's something called the recruitment intelligence. So we are building a platform where you can do the whole process in a very seamless manner, where the pain point which we figured out was like the candidates, every time the candidates get left out, right? I go for an interview, then the HR will be telling me, after some time, we'll be giving you feedback. We'll give you feedback. The interview was awesome, but they never called you back, right? And sometimes people, a lot of time people get demotivated. So what we're trying to do is like, we're trying to address this of specific things. So if the interview is scheduled, then it will give you a reminder. It will help you how to prep the interview. It will try to connect with them. It will take just long. So there are a lot of things that we're trying to do which is different. People have been telling us that it's there in the market, but we didn't listen for the past 5 years. So we're not going to listen again for whichever year. That's how you do it. So again, the value which you need to have is like you need to have a unique skills, unique selling proposition, or what we call in the market the USP. But rather than that, what I will suggest you to do is like, if you really want to enter this whole thing, I'll suggest you to read a book. Okay. Later on, I can again suggest to read you 2 more books, but I'll just suggest you one book to read. That will be Blue Ocean Strategy. Okay, that's the only book you can start reading it. If you read it, then I can. If you can read it, then I can give you another suggestion.
I will try, sir. I will try to read that.
Okay, the book is about how do you create a niche in the market.
Okay.
It's about identifying yourself, differentiating yourself from the market, competitor, and killing the competition is what it will help you do it. And it also speaks about the value addition. Okay, so for example, if you are starting an aviation sector, then if it's online, then what are the values that you can give rather than other people are giving? And if it's offline classes, then what are the flexibility that you give? So there's a value addition which is there, right? So the value addition is like, for example, there is a simple thing like samosa is there, right? Samosa, what we call in Manipur singhara. Okay, we call it singhara. We call it singhara. Then of the samosa. So samosa, if it's like sold on a samosa store, might be this hot chip stalls and all. Then it might cost you might be around 5 rupees, 10 rupees at most, and some very hot selling samosas that might cost you around 20 bucks, right? But the same samosa, if you can get in the in KFC as well as in right now they're offering, right? But that same samosa with twist and they just add a cover with a KFC logo. Okay, might be some other logo. Okay, and then it will cost you might be around 4 times or 5 times the original samosa, right? So that's a power of value addition. The more power, the value you add, the money you can take, or the greater the brand value it is. So you need to create a brand equity, which will be helping you, in going for a long run. Just like at the end, the brand equity matters a lot. If you want to go for stock market, like you want to go for this whole IPO thing, then it will be the value of the company which carries around. Apart from that, I will suggest one more thing, which is like lack in most of the company. It's about respecting the team and respecting the employees. Okay, because what I feel is like most of the company that treat their employees and the teammates like they can just buy with the money, right? But that should not be the case. It should be like you should treat them with utmost respect, yet like a teammate, because without them you cannot play along, right? And if people are not fitting the bill, then you should be courageous enough, tell in the face that this is a thing that you're lacking. If not, then you need to find another job. Okay, I'm just telling you, instead of like just keeping silent, and then it will be kind of like you'll be killing your business as well as you'll be killing someone's career. So it's better to be very straightforward and tell them that these are the things that you're lacking, that rather than you are not doing a good job, you give workload and then you're not meeting the target and throw them off. It's not the thing that you guys do. Okay, so you need to create a good work culture, but the most important thing over here is having a good culture and a good team will help you in the very long run rather than having an idea. It might be a very simple idea. You are in Delhi right now.
Yes, I'm in Delhi right.
You must have heard about those the one person who was like coming for this this UPSC exam, and he's selling teas and he's earning crore, right?
Not exactly.
There is a chaiwala in Delhi. Okay.
Yes, I know, sir. I know.
Yeah, he is earning in crores and crores. Okay. And even the Lijat Papar thing, the Lijat Papar, which is roughly around 900 full crores are there. So that thing was started by one lady with that Papar, that Balan and all. So no idea is stupid. Okay. And everything should be some, when you have an idea, it should be something which is original and you should be passionate about. People might laugh at you, let them laugh at them. No, let them laugh at you, that's fine. At the end, if your bank balance is like heavy and you're driving an Audi or a Merc, might be BMW, it doesn't matter at all whether they're laughing at you or not, right? At the end, you might be laughing at them. The key point is like, what matter to you is understanding yourself, what you want, rather than what people are saying. And it's not about India, it's about everywhere. Whether when you try to do something, people will try to criticize you. It's bad, it's stupid. Okay, it might be really irrelevant, and especially in India, it's about you're just a woman. What can you do? So just don't listen to that kind of crap. No, sorry for my word, but focus on what you want to do. Okay, and there are a lot of incubators in the market, and in Delhi there is like, I guess like 99 Springboard is there. Okay, where a lot of entrepreneurs comes over there sharing the space and ideas and all. Can go over there just to have a glimpse of that, and connecting and then joining a lot of like events and all. will help you. I'm just giving a perspective from my end. It's not something which I'm saying for definite, but something which I'd like to say. And one more thing which I'd like to add, apart from the question from Sana, is that definitely I'm not just coming over here just to give you Gyan, which I usually don't. I just share ideas, and I would love to interact. So, if there are good candidates, okay, there are good candidates. I love to have them on. I have few projects in my hand. Okay, different thing, different industry. So I'm still looking for people who are really passionate about something, who have a entrepreneurial skill set, who have a good communication skill, who's ready to learn and take up challenges. If there's 5 key skills are there, I'm looking for people to make a team, to do some new fun things, which is kind of not boring. Instead of you guys trying to learn, okay, we can just walk around together, do some fun stuff and make some money at the end, rather than it's kind of like, other things which you focus on. But definitely, so we are also doing headhunting at the same time. We're just interacting with you guys. Up to you, Dinkle.
Okay. I mean, speaking of which, right? Okay, we're not going to take too much time because you guys going to see us anyway. Most importantly, our respected members of Seven Institute, and half of them are not here, and I don't understand why. Sophia and Henry, maybe they didn't fill up the form. So good thing you guys fill up the form, rest of you. Like Siddhanta was saying, there were a lot of terms that he mentioned which are really important to understand, like USP, unique selling proposition. In layman's term, basically, unique selling proposition is nothing but what makes you unique, right? As an applicant, job applicant, as a business owner, what niche he mentioned, maybe you must have got confused. And if I were you, I would have asked, sir, what is USP? Sir, what is niche? Sir, what is this? But nobody asked. So I don't know, that habit is going to come later down the line probably, but he's mentioned a lot of things that if I were in your shoes back in those days, which we didn't have, he didn't have, I didn't have. If you were listening to something like this, I would sit up until 1 a.m. and I'll be like, I'll make the most out of these guys. You know what I mean? So he's going to be back and yeah.
Sorry for
Same
interrupting.
here.
Yeah, Dinkle was saying that it was just for 15 minutes. So 15 minutes has already passed long time back, but it's very interesting to every time, engage with people, okay, and with the same mindset, okay? So that's why I'm always happy to join the team and track. So if you guys interact, then I might be telling you, if you guys don't interact, because like at the end, it's about making rapport, building rapport, right? If you don't build rapport, then I won't be telling you everything. I have a lot in my pocket, more than what I'm telling right now. So one of the things, a few of the things which I can do is like, I can make your product, go online viral by tomorrow. I can make you popular by tomorrow, okay, and make you an internet celebrity by tomorrow. I can help you to make money online, okay, in dollars rather not than fees, okay. And there are a lot of things that I can add on to you guys rather than. But if you don't ask questions, then I won't be interactive. So that's why I didn't start a topic by taking some topic and then try to push it on. I'd like to have interactive session because it's not a classroom. So, and again, online session, I know, I've been doing online session all the time, my team and all. So it's like sometimes people doze off, right? And people just turn off the cam and there might be PUBG or might be something. Might be watching YouTube on side with one earphone and all. So a lot of things might be there. So, but at the same time, if you guys are focused, if you want to learn, it's not that I'm a good teacher. I'm not a teacher. I'm not an academician in the first place. I'm a practicalitist, okay? I'm a practitioner. So if you want to practice alongside with me, I'm looking for few people. Okay, I choose handful of people, okay? And I can guarantee you one thing, that if you're with me for at least for 1 month, then you will be learning a lot more than what you've been there in MBA school 2 years, that I can guarantee you. Okay, so and you won't be working for free. Definitely, I'll pay you guys. It's not for free. Nothing in this world for free. If you're good with something, you should not do it for free. That's how you rather than even if you go for intern, ask them for money. At least like transportation cost, they should bear. Okay. So that's it. Over to you, Dinkle. It was really nice session.
No, I mean, thanks a lot to you, man. And Siddhanta was supposed to start his session at 6:30, and I asked him to come in at 6:20 before Daniel finishes. Now, everybody started raising their questions when it was too late, and I really thank his patience because Mazu, he has a lot of things to do, right? We're not sitting idle, guys. We have a lot of things to do, right? Personal, business-wise, we have a lot of things to do. So I really thank him every time I ask him whether it's offline, online, he wouldn't ask much questions. Okay, he would just ask the time. He was just, okay, what do they want to know about? Right. And what you need to really walk away from here tonight is that the things that you heard from him, Daniel, and everybody, you're not gonna get it on YouTube, man, guys. Okay, right? So take it seriously, or you don't take it seriously. It's your choice. We can't force you. But yes, we're gonna see each other again tomorrow. The key takeaway is, guys, personal brand. Siddhanta mentioned it before he came. I mentioned it before this session. I always mention to you guys, it's all about building your brand, guys. That's it, right? Be able to build your brand, right? So many things to talk about. I think we'll leave it for tomorrow. Siddhanta, thank you so much again. And thank you to everybody who participated, everybody who's still present till now. Okay. And I think you deserve all the kinds of certification, not certification, the kind of, I would say, referral that you deserve, right? And I would pursue Siddhanta on this. People who, every time this kind of sessions, people who attend until the end and really like attend out of pure interest, I would pursue him to also give you a personal referral note, whatever. I can't promise you on that. I'm just saying this in front of everyone. I'm putting him under the spotlight, so I'm sorry, man. But I just said,
if like people are really persistent, then definitely I'll be obliged to do that.
Great.
But if they're not asking question and they're not following up, then I have my
That's
own,
a problem.
Yeah,
that is the problem.
That's routine. So I won't be following up them asking that this is the note you like to have. So nobody's going to give you any sort of bad platter. Definitely, definitely not in this kind of session because it's not a classroom and it's a different scenario.
Exactly, man. Nobody's gonna feed you, spoon feed your entire life, guys. You have to understand that. And all these things that he's been talking about, I've been talking about, Daniel's been talking about, man, these are not something that you can, wake up in the morning and you have it, right? This is from mistakes, experience, failures, mostly from failures, I would say. All right. So guys, thank you so much. Zan, thank you so much. I hope you're free tomorrow.
Definitely, I'll try to join in. And thank you everyone for having me and listening to the boring lecture. In some way, I think so. I'll try to make it interesting if I can just like.
Sir, excuse me, sir. Can sir ye Facebook account on tayo bilang.
You come tomorrow and for joining tomorrow, I'll just like share a few things. I personally prefer LinkedIn more than Facebook.
Oh, sir, LinkedIn.
They in fact started using LinkedIn, Siddhanta. They didn't know about LinkedIn. That was the most painful thing, I talk skill sets. I talk they didn't know about LinkedIn, man. I'm telling you. And some of them have like 1 follower, 2 follower. It's so cute. And then some of them are like 19 followers. It's like, oh, that's a great achievement, right? So yeah, follow him on LinkedIn. Why are you asking his Facebook account? Why, Dayananda, why did you text me on Facebook? You should have texted me on LinkedIn, right? Example today. You texted me on Facebook. Why did you do that? So
LinkedIn. Usually, why? Because like you need to learn. So I usually don't use Facebook. Social media I use, but it's more of like I use it for using Facebook, using ads, placing products and all branding and all, and using the Facebook analytics. And I just browse sometimes just to see what my friends are doing. So that's all. So definitely, if you make a repo, I'll just even give you my WhatsApp number for that. Okay, I'm very open for networking. Okay, in any manner, like if you like to try to follow up, and then definitely I'll say you. That's what I cannot share you on the first date, right? That's what possible.
Thank you, sir. And yeah, speaking of LinkedIn, tomorrow we'll be going through some LinkedIn steps, how we can look for jobs, how we can connect with people, filter, how it works and all of that. Tomorrow we will be walking through that. Okay, LinkedIn Gig. And it's really important, guys. Okay. So I think that's about it, man. Sinanta, thank you once again. Thank you, Sophia and Henry. Tomorrow, Sophia and Henry, they have a lot to share as well from their perspectives in terms of career planning, etc., etc. Okay, Sophia, Henry, can we also have by tonight, it's still early, the night is young, how many attendees confirmed for tomorrow? Okay, it'll be great to know that. Sophia and Henry, yeah, both from
Okay,
Imphal.
both from like from our member or for the new one?
Yeah, but the entire thing, the entire list of attendees.
Okay, that will be like 30 plus, sir.
No, I want to get final confirmation tomorrow. For
Okay,
tomorrow,
sure.
I want to get a final confirmation tonight.
Okay, sure, sir. Like I'll make that happen.
All right. Okay, guys. Thank you. Siddhant, thank you so much, man. Thank you.
Okay, thanks,
Thank you
Doc.
for
Take
your
care,
patience.
guys.
Thank you for your patience.
Definitely.
Thank you, everyone.
We
Thank
all
you,
need to have
sir.
patience. Okay, bye. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Take care, man.
Take care. Take care.
Yeah, you guys do the same as well. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Yes, sir. Good night.